welcome to stream. Welcome, Gallop. Welcome, Lambrecht. You hold your little partner faces and be ready for today's game. It's restful. Yeah, love to have you guys here for however long you can. Lambrecht, we missed you yesterday. We needed some Lambrecht energy yesterday. There was so much horniness going on. I mean, not just for that, but you would have enjoyed that. But yeah, we have a new game today. The new episodes for Dispatch are not out as of right now. They will come out later today. But I really wanted to get streaming ideally an hour ago, but you know, life happens. And like just before Ryan starts streaming, because everyone's watching Ryan, of course. Can't believe the game insults all of you, not me though, I will never die. Yeah. But this is an indie point-and-click adventure that released today. I hope I'm not wrong in saying it's indie, but I'm fairly certain I remember it from a compilation of indie games that are about to release. So I was live. Daycare on Tuesday for now, so I'm changing my desk the way I usually am. Ah, okay. Yeah. I just, whenever you can be here, I'm happy, and just we missed you. But I'm happy you're here today, and I hope you enjoy this. So yeah, it's a point-and-click adventure set in the Louisiana of the 1930s, and we have some spooky stuff going on. It's not October anymore, but still, I'm here for the vibes. It looked really interesting, and yeah, like it might be a lot of fun. Hey, Catilla, welcome in. Oh, I love that language. I love you. You're the best. So yeah, let's start a new game. Okay, some little tutorial. Left click interact, right click examine, double click quick travel. Okay, begin. Okay. Well, let's see.
They said there was a treasure on the island. Its location known only to the dead. I could see it in my dreams. How was I supposed to know that in order to find it, I'd have to die too?
I'm sorry, I did not think the speech would be so fucking loud. Thank you, Catilla. That's a wonderful quote for Lambrecht again. Thanks for the look, Attila. Quite interesting to have credits or some sort of opening credits at the start.
Well,
you don't see that very
You're
often.
a fool. Everyone on Devil's Rock knows what happened to that house. Over 30 years it stood empty now. Locals won't go near it. I say all it contains now is dust, cobwebs, and bad luck.
I don't have time for ghost stories.
Then what do you want with it?
33 years ago, the Bellemore Trading Company was wound up and absorbed by the state. The owner's dead, the heir nowhere to be found. Money was missing from the company accounts, and it's still unaccounted for. I'm here to find it.
So you're a treasure hunter?
Not quite. I'm an auditor.
An auditor? Records, taxes, all that stuff?
Think of me as the adventurer of the accounts book. But on this case, I'm out of office and on location. At 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, the state's claim on that money lapses for good along with my commission. So I've got one night to find it. I'm overdue for a meeting with the parish comptroller to reopen the case.
The comptroller you're meeting wouldn't happen to be Theodore Grimes, would it?
Yes, I believe it is.
Would be hard to convince him, I'd say.
Why's that? I'm a good talker.
Dead?
He died
He's dead.
about 4 days ago. I
Oh,
wager
yeah.
He's waiting to be buried in St. Juniper Cemetery, stiff as a board.
Okay, that might be tricky. Talking to the dead isn't quite within my skill set.
Remember what I said about that house and bad luck?
My bad luck started long before that house. It's a 3-day journey to get here, and it took me 7. And ever since my suitcase got dropped overboard on the steamer, all I have to my name is a pocket watch, a magazine, and $1.
Less than $1, actually. You owe me for the taxi ride.
Doesn't IOU work for you? Also, classic accountant with classic. I do that all the time on the job. Okay, what's that magazine? Merry and Macabre magazine. 2 cents. They vanished without a wedding. Got dropped overboard. Sure. Oh boy, okay, I have to read that in a
It was
second.
the magazine where I'd first read about the Bellemore treasure. Now I was going to find out if it was more than just a ghost story. It was the magazine.
Okay, also, I hate doing this, but I was so shocked by seeing how loud the voice lines were that I totally didn't listen to what we were told at the very beginning. So, what was being said at the opening bit? Sorry. Is it still too loud? I turned it down like a lot, but I can do it. I can turn it down more if you want.
The taxi driver was the type to prefer payment over conversation.
You don't say Bill Bolam, but he has a
Taxi
name. Okay, is it still too loud, or is it okay right now? You're wearing headphones and we'll be sending you a medical bill for the stream. I know where you live, Galef, and I know that where you live, medical bills are not a thing. I don't think I can play a conversation again. Okay, you know what? The only thing I could do is start over, I guess. I'm gonna live with that.
It was the pocket watch I'd been given when I reached 5 years as an auditor. I didn't know whether it was to celebrate the fact or rub it in. It was the only $1 I had left after traveling to Devil's Rock.
Ah, thanks. I guess we paid a good man.
And here's your change.
Didn't you say you'd take me into town?
You can walk from here. No one with any sense would go further onto this island at night. And remember, the tide's coming in. Within the hour, you'll be cut off from the mainland until tomorrow.
That suits me. I took the pocket watch out of my vest and clicked open the cover. I've got 13 hours to find $13 million.
Unlucky for some, but if you're really dead set on it, here's a tip. Go find the Spirit Queen.
The Spirit Queen? Who is that?
I think you'll find you mean, what's that? Good luck, Murphy McAllen.
Prologue, the Spirit Queen.
Walking into the port town of Deadnettle, I could sense its history in every stone, brick, and plank. Echoes of merchant ships loading and unloading all manner of cargo from expeditions throughout the Caribbean. Gold and treasure that may still lie hidden on the island.
Love the art style, by the way.
For now, I thought it best to explore the town and see if I could find a local who could tell me where to find the Spirit Queen.
Actually wanted to explore on the beach. I thought I would do that after paying the taxi driver. Loose change. What is
It was the
that?
change the taxi driver had given me from our drive across the causeway. A dime and a penny.
So 26 cents? Okay, that magazine, let's read that.
It was the...
For richer, for poorer. A mysterious manor, a bewitching bride, and a treasure trove that remains undiscovered to this very day. Hide beneath a blanket as we recount the spooky story of the vanishing wedding of Bellemore Manor. Thanks, Caleb. You enjoy your research papers. Thanks for being here. They say it happened on Halloween night in 1899 on the ominously named island of Devil's Rock. The creme de la creme of Louisiana society had been invited to the grand wedding of Abigail Bellemore, youngest sister of the Bellemore brothers. Wealthy owners of the Bellemore Trading Company, which traded the waters of the Caribbean. British by birth, the brothers took over the Bellemore Trading Company upon the tragic death of its original founders, their parents, while also adopting their younger sister. The wedding of Abigail Bellemore was said to be the highlight of the year for Louisiana, for Louisiana high society, but it was already a wedding plagued by scandal and tragedy. Abigail had declared her love for a sailor who worked aboard her brother's ships. Eschewing the eligible bachelors across the South, Abigail was courted and proposed to by a commoner. Unsure at first, but compelled by their love of their little sister, the brothers sanctioned the marriage and planned to make it a spectacle. The fairy tale wedding this was not. In the month leading up to the wedding, each of Abigail's brothers, one by one, went missing. How many brothers did she have? Wasn't it just two? I just said the brothers. Okay. Okay, three brothers. Okay. We have the picture here. 3 brothers and the sister. Okay, cool. So each of the 3 brothers, one by one, went missing. Never to be seen again. This writer's theory? Murder. But who could accomplish such a heinous crime? The story takes a mysterious twist. The morning of the wedding, Abigail declared she would not marry the stalwart sailor, but would instead marry John Rackham, first officer of the Bellemore Trading Company and its director following the disappearances of the Bellemore brothers. Was the bride stolen from the sailor? Was the bride rescued by the officer? Or were the 2 men simply pawns of a demonic debutante? The following morning came and no newlywed couple was to be found. Through the night, it is said that a huge green flash erupted from the manor house, and no one, not the bride, the groom, nor any of the guests, was ever seen again. The house was abandoned. The Bellemore Trading Company broke up and sold off. The island left to fade into obscurity. And yet the wealth of the Bellemore family has never been found. Gold, jewels, or even more esoteric treasures all still lie undiscovered to this day. To this day, the house is avoided by anyone who knows its past, and still stands at the heart of the Bellemore estate, rotting away with its fading secrets still locked inside. What happened to the vanished wedding? What happened to the Bellemore treasure? The story gets stranger still. Rumors about that the Bellemore brothers had an interest in the occult, and this dalliance with dark arts may have seduced them. Could voodoo from the Caribbean expeditions have infiltrated Bellemore Manor? On occasion, the night sky above Devil's Rock still illuminates with a green glow, a memory of that fateful night when an entire wedding vanished. Or perhaps it is a beacon to a priceless treasure, still waiting for an adventurer foolish enough to pursue it. Okay, and here we have the three brothers. Yardley Bellemore, the actor, Xavier Bellemore, the explorer, and Cecil Bellemore, the scientist. A luminary of the stage on both coasts when his schedule allowed it, initially writing and performing plays, but in later years commissioning their production through his philanthropic efforts, as his schedule was overtaken by the rapidly growing business. Okay, that's about Yardley. Yes, everything you make to make your own kazoo, impress your friends. I would have gotten to that. Okay, what about Xavier? A member of the Captain's Club and the Globetrotters Guild. Xavier was the heartbeat of the Bellemore Trading Company's ventures in the Caribbean, where the three brothers made lucrative trading contracts that spread to the United States and across the Atlantic. Okay, Cecil Bellemore, the scientist. Lauded as a genius for his inventions and scientific rigor in the areas of electricity and transportation, rumors abound about possible technological discoveries that would have been announced if only he had not disappeared. Remember, we are in the now we're in 1933. That tragic wedding happened in 1899, so electricity was still an absolute novelty. So whatever he potentially was working on could be really interesting to explore. Everything you need to make your own kazoo, plus a book of sheet music, impress your friends. Just a comb and some tissue paper are all it takes to make music. Just send the coupon below with a 5-cent securely attached to receive the required materials. Have the popularity you have dreamed about. Become a musical maestro in the making. Please allow 6 weeks for delivery. With an asterisk, no guarantee of success. Have the popularity you dreamed about. Kazoo will surely do that. Bucket and Code Novelties, 990 Gilbert Avenue, Philadelphia, PA, Pennsylvania, I guess. I attach 5 cents to purchase the materials to make my own kazoo, plus it's free sheet music. Name, address, city, state. Okay. Dublin Jewelry. Door. Hello, Wilson. How you doing today? Welcome.
It was the door to a jewelry store named... The door was locked with a sign in the window saying, "Closed for private appointment. Reopening shortly." I could see 2 gentlemen inside the store. A spindly man with a wiry mustache had his face pressed against a display cabinet, while a diminutive older gentleman tried desperately to pull him away. I'd seen similar behavior in Laurel and Hardy pictures.
Yes, that's point and click. Happy to have you here and happy that the game made you curious. We've just started, so we are on an island. We are, okay, basically the story so far is we are an accountant employed by the state. And there was this estate of a rich family, but everyone vanished during a wedding 30 years ago. And there's still a big fortune rumored to be there somewhere in the estate. And the state wants to claim it. And we were sent to find it. Puppet theater, Pulcinella.
Puppet show hadn't started yet.
Okay, Pulcinella sounds
Set
Italian.
up on the seafront was an elaborate carved wood puppet theater with Pulcinella painted across the top.
That sounds super Italian. Room and board available. Inquire within.
Slap me with a paddle. It's a whopper.
I don't know.
Well, blast
Slap you?
my barnacles. That's the third one tonight. These fish sure must have been spooked by something.
Okay.
Are the fish biting?
Not so well today, to tell the truth. That was the first nibble in hours. I'm Ned Kipps, by the way. I haven't seen you around here before.
I'm here because I have a very important job on this island. A calling that only I can fulfill. Dark secrets that I need to uncover.
Oh, you're a tourist. Now, why on earth would you choose Devil's Rock as the place to vacation?
I must have done something to upset my travel agent. The name's Murphy McCallan.
Nice to meet you, Mac. Not peckish, are you? You can help yourself to what I got here in my bucket if you like.
Oh, thanks.
Ooh.
My expectations of a local seafood delicacy quickly unraveled when I plunged my hands into what felt like lumpy jelly. Ugh! It was a handful of fish guts.
Ha! That's the best bait you get around here. They smell pretty bad, but the critters on this island love them. Who would have known they're good at suckering in tourists, too?
Yep. Okay, let's ask some
Have you heard of the
questions.
Spirit Queen?
Heard of her? Sure. But I wouldn't be heading out into the bayou at this time of night.
If she's out there, that's where I need to go.
Murphy, bayou's dangerous. It's not the kind of place you want to go alone.
I'll be careful.
Well, if you're set on it, just take the western route out of town. Left at Pimlico Rock, then right on into the bayou. Without dark it gets in there, you'll see the lights guiding you the last stretch of the way. Just make sure the gators don't get too attached to you.
Ooh, okay. Nice.
What's life like in Dead Nettle?
Well, it's not the hustle and bustle it used to be, but it suits me just fine. The ships just don't come through Dead Nettle anymore. Not since the disappearance.
You must have been talking about the Bellemore wedding. The locals actually believed the story. Have you ever considered moving to the mainland?
Nah, I wouldn't like it over there. Crazies, oddballs, crackpots. The mainland doesn't have any of them.
What's that you're reading?
This is Herman Melville's Moby Dick.
Are you enjoying it?
I'm struggling my way through it, to be honest. I thought it was a how-to book. I must prefer the last book I read. It was much more action-packed.
What book was that?
The Encyclopedia of Fishing Lures, 3rd edition.
Interesting days in literature.
I'm going to get back to exploring the island.
I wouldn't go looking for it if I were you, you know.
Excuse me?
The folks this island gets now either seem to be looking for something or running away from something. You look like you're doing both. You got your eye on that Bellemore treasure, and I wouldn't be doing right by you if I didn't warn you to stay away from it. I know this island has a reputation for the macabre, and it's all fun and games in the beginning, but dig too deep, and you end up in a place you don't want to be.
What makes you think I... Ned looked at me in a way that told me my playing innocent wasn't going to work. Okay, that's right, but I'm not a grave robber. I'm an auditor, contracted by the state.
It don't matter what your reasons are, Mac. You need to be careful with that house. Us locals, we don't go anywhere near it.
I appreciate the concern, but who can really say they've seen a ghost?
I have, Murphy. And I'm not the only one. Ever since the disappearance, anyone brave or foolish enough to go up to that house has seen the same thing. You might say it was moonlight shimmering off dusty glass, the shadow of a tree branch, or a curtain blown by an unseen breeze. But deep down, we all know what we saw.
What did you see?
The Phantom. It's not something anyone will forget. Every poor soul who's seen the Phantom has been plagued by the most awful experience. Night after night of endless nightmares. Months of restless sleep. Just visions of faces. Evil faces. Laughing. It's like it can infect your dreams.
And who do you think the Phantom is? Or was?
Nobody knows. But it must have been someone at that awful wedding. Someone who doesn't want to leave the house. Or doesn't want to let anyone in.
I appreciate your concern, but I have a job to do. I don't think my boss would be too happy if I report back that ghosts and ghouls are what's standing in my way.
You're not the first to come looking for the treasure, you know.
But if I find it, I could be the last.
Whether you find it or not, I hope that's true. For everyone's sake.
Ned's talk of nightmares was the last thing I needed to be worried about. Even if it was a job, ever since I read about the Bellemore treasure, all I could do was dream about finding it.
Wedding was like 34 years ago. According to the magazine, this one, the wedding happened on Halloween night, 1899, was somewhere, yeah. Halloween night 1899, and we're supposedly in 1933. Oh, you're welcome. I love me some spooky stories. Oh!
I shook the gate, but it wasn't going to open. Down the passageway, I could make out a portion of an illuminated courtyard and the echoing trickle of a fountain.
Interesting, so we just went through here. Huh.
The tip of a wooden boat poked above the water, clearly the remains of a rather unfortunate expedition. A faded poster had been pasted on the wall of the alcove. It had clearly been there for years. The ladder was covered in rust from the salty sea air, barely hanging on to the crumbling masonry.
And I went through there and it loaded a new screen. I seriously thought we were like in a proper new screen. I mean, I guess we're not really interested in room and board, since we only have this one night to recover the treasure. Okay, just trying to check. If there's anything else I could look at, interact with. We only have that one night. 13 hours for $13 million to be precise. And it's a full moon one. Yep. Spooky.
The door led into a building that had Juniper Parish Gazette painted on the side.
Then see how this could possibly go wrong? Nothing's gonna go wrong.
Of all of the papers pinned to the board, one article stood out to me. It showed the beaming face of a rotund fisherman on the docks with a headline declaring he'd just broken the island's heaviest catch record. A notice board stood outside the newspaper office, containing a mixture of advertisements and front pages from previous issues.
Okay. Bloom canned beef? Well, that advertisement
It was a
looks
billboard
shoddy.
advertising Bloom's Canned Beef, Of all the ways to eat beef, the canned form was definitely at the bottom of my list of preferences.
Well, sometimes you don't have a choice. Okay, the Captain's Club. Currently closed. Fishing net.
The fishing net was worn and useless. Using it would have been like trying to catch soup with a sieve. A fishing net had been stretched between two poles to dry, and then clearly forgotten about.
Okay, I'll have to get used to which button is interacting, which one's examining. Oh, now I'm leaving town. I mean, let's go to the
As
beach.
I returned to the beach, I could see the causeway was now fully flooded over by the rising tide. I was trapped here until dawn. There would be no way to cross the causeway back to the mainland until the tide had gone down. With the high tide, the entirety of the causeway was now covered over by water. Only the guideposts peeking above the waves gave any hint of the road below that had brought me to the island.
Okay.
It was a handful of fish guts so odoriferous they made my eyes water.
And who are you, little girl?
Hello? Little girl? Have you lost your mommy and daddy? It's late, there could be a lot of strange people around.
Yeah, I think I'm talking to one.
Maybe I should introduce myself. My name's Murphy McCallan. What's yours?
Mallory Wisp, angel on the outside, malevolent force of disparagement, derision, and disorder on the inside. At least, that's what Mrs. Huxley wrote in my school report. Hey, do you know what an enfant terrible is?
Do your parents know you're here?
Of course they do. This is my happy place. I come here when I need to cheer up.
What's got you down?
It's my birthday, and I didn't get the present I wanted.
Well, happy birthday. Is being out here helping?
A little. It's a nice place to plot my revenge.
This doesn't sound like an appropriate way for a little girl to spend her time.
Little girl? Little girl? What am I supposed to like? Posies and princesses? Tiaras and tea parties? Those are not my thing.
Well, what is your thing?
What present did you want for your birthday?
A doll?
Please say
A
fish
doll?
guts.
What's
Okay.
wrong with wanting a doll?
Nothing. I just didn't expect it. It doesn't quite fit with your whole aura.
I'm still a little girl. I don't have to defy all your stereotypes. Instead, I get this stupid tin boat. I know Sebastian's got something to do with it, too. He was all over the tin boat when I showed him my toy catalog from Mulligan's.
Is he one of your friends?
Not in a million years. You can see right through him.
How are you planning on getting revenge?
I'm not sure. Currently, I'm at the plotting and ruminating stage of my plan.
What are you plotting and ruminating about?
How things would be different if I was in charge of the world. We had a school project last week. What we want to be when we grow up. Mildred wanted to be a baker. Bobby wanted to be a firefighter.
What did you want to be?
Queen
Serial
of the
killer.
universe.
I guess no one could
Close
accuse
enough.
you of lacking ambition. Do you think you could fix the world's problems and make the world a better place if you were in charge?
Oh, absolutely not. It would be far worse. My patience is worn so thin with all the idiots around me. I don't know if it would be wise for me to wield that much power. You to the dungeons! You to the torture room! It would be very cathartic for me, though.
Okay, we have a little Wednesday.
Shouldn't you be heading home?
I'm in trouble at home. Mrs. Huxley held me back for detention yesterday. Again.
What did you do?
I convinced 3/4 of the class to sign over their eternal souls to me in exchange for some jelly beans. Third graders are remarkably easy to manipulate with a bag of candy and a little peer pressure.
Why did you do that?
You've got to speculate to accumulate.
Why did you want their souls? What use do you have for them?
Just making sure I'm prepared. And that's just step one.
I didn't dare ask what she was preparing for.
Sounds like a good deal. I don't know, my immortal soul for some jelly beans? I guess in the 30s?
Have you heard of the Spirit Queen?
Look, if Maury put you up to this, you can tell him that I have no intention of going anywhere near his big, boring boat again. And anyway, those skulls look better with a little lipstick on them. I even made some cowrie necklaces for them, but nope. If we have a skeletal uprising, they're just going to have to maraud without being dolled up. And they'll have to take it up with Maury.
Who's Moray?
Nope, not falling for it.
Do you like living on Devil's Rock?
This island is cut off from society, an isolated microcosm of the dark and macabre. If I'm honest, it fits me quite nicely. Lots of places to explore, too, when I'm not banned from them.
Where are you banned from?
Where am I not? The captain's club wouldn't let me in after I declared a mutiny. The lady at the newspaper office kicked me out when I tried selling stories about a zombie uprising. The witch doctor in the bayou threatened to hex me if I didn't stop sneaking on board and borrowing his toys. And the gravedigger banned me from the cemetery when I played a teensy little practical joke.
What did you do?
I convinced him the stiff he'd buried was still alive. People are so antisocial around here.
Yeah, poor girl. Everyone's so mean to her. She's just an absolute joy.
I better get going.
I wouldn't walk across the beach again if I were you. This beach is covered in quicksand. I can hop along the surface, but with your weight, you'll be sucked down like a noodle.
Oh no. Really? This beach has quicksand?
Nah, I'm just messing with you. Tourists.
Okay. Do you like my magazine? Don't see the scent moving? Seems like soul scent. Seems like it.
What do you
Yeah.
think of this magazine?
Ghost stories, huh? I mean, it's all right, but I like my ghost stories with a little more edge to them.
Have you seen how late it is?
It's not late for me. Is it past your bedtime? Maybe you should get back to your blankie.
You haven't tried that with the fisherman, I should, I guess.
I didn't want to take the little girl's balloon from her. Her brooding face made it more than clear that it wouldn't be a good idea to get on her bad side. A helium-filled balloon bobbed gently in the breeze. I'd like to buy your boat.
What do you think I am? A yacht broker named Mitch? Gotta get the big sales before the end of the month. I don't need your money. There's nothing on the island to spend it on.
Interesting.
Would you like some fish guts?
No thanks. My dad brings enough back from the trawlers as it is. We have them 3 times a day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Really? You eat this?
You're so gullible, Murphy.
Despite the little girl's disparaging look at her tiny toy, I doubted she'd be okay with me commandeering it. I peered into the tide pools, but all I could see was pebbles, sand, and seaweed. The beach was dotted by tide pools, partly filled with seawater.
And give me some seaweed. I make her doll.
I peered into the tide pools.
Okay, I'm guessing all the tide pools are the same though.
I peered into...
Still gonna try
peered-
it though. Okay. Then let's go back into town.
I decided to leave Ned to his fishing. What do you think of this magazine?
Is this what got you interested in the Bellemore treasure?
That's right. This is all I could find about it.
Just remember, don't believe everything you read.
What do you think of my pocket watch?
Is that how long I've been out here? And still no fish. Today's not my lucky day.
To make use of that, I needed something to weigh. It was a mechanical scale used for weighing fish. There was nothing I needed to buy off him. Would you like these back?
You can keep them. Don't worry. You'll get used to the smell. Eventually.
I had more important things to do than fish.
No, I really don't. Oh, there's a couple of things left I can look at.
The clothesline was decidedly out of reach, even for a person who wanted to steal someone's freshly laundered undergarments. I wasn't one of those people.
Boring.
Shirts, socks, and oversized underwear had been left out to dry overnight. I wasn't going to climb the mast. I had neither the proficiency with electrical equipment nor the desire to get electrocuted. It was a telegraph mast, with cables radiating outwards to the buildings surrounding.
Okay.
That didn't work.
Alright. Let's try going here.
After what felt like miles, the eerie darkness of the bayou gave way to the soft orange glow of a gas lamp. And beyond it, the last thing I expected to find in the heart of the swamp.
Oh, the Spirit Queen, eh?
Hand-painted lettering on the side of a paddle wheel revealed the Spirit Queen wasn't a person, it was a riverboat. Its hull sagged, the wood swollen and split from years in the swamp. Peeling paint curled like dead skin, and what remained of its once grand decks now tilted and crooked. It looked like a wedding cake that had been left to rot.
Alright. We have a nice little alligator that we somehow need to get past. Maybe he likes fish guts.
As I took the shrunken head from the sign, it almost seemed to grin at me. Creepy. It was a shrunken head with wispy white hair and tightly shut eyes.
We'll see what we do with that.
I may have been new to the bayou, but even I knew that plunging my hand into alligator-infested waters wasn't a good idea.
I don't know what you're talking about. It sounds like a fantastic idea to me. Hey, I'm Shadow Link. Thanks for the look.
I considered climbing the water tower, but I couldn't imagine what I'd find at the top other than stagnant, moldy water. And there was plenty of that in the bayou already.
And that's right, the gator is already out of the
It
water.
was an aging
Perfect
water
time to swim.
tower used to replenish the steam engine aboard the riverboat. I jiggled the handle, but the door was locked. The damp air of the bayou had swelled the window in its frame. It would need more force than my bare hands could supply to open it.
Alright, let's try the magazine.
The damp air it would need... That wasn't going to work.
Why not? Okay. Guess we can punch an alligator.
Hand feeding the alligator didn't seem like a good idea. What if it bit off more than I was offering? That didn't work. I couldn't do that. The shrunken head was dry and desiccated. I doubted the alligator would want it as a snack.
Hey, you never know.
The fish guts could definitely draw the alligator's attention, but not if they sank into the bayou. A swiveling wooden crane used to load up cargo in days gone by stood halfway along the jetty.
Okay, so I somehow have to combine the fish guts with the crane. I just need something else.
That didn't work.
Okay, it just tells me it doesn't work. Okay, but not why. Maybe I have to put the fish guts into something.
The alligator snapped at me like a sprung trap, giving me more than enough reason to stay well away from those teeth. If I wanted to get across the jetty, I needed to make sure the alligator wasn't on it. A fierce-looking alligator blocked my way along the jetty. A broken chain hung from its neck like a leash, but this creature definitely wasn't under control. Its milky eyes stared past me, but I could tell from the way it shifted, the way its nostrils flared, that it knew exactly where I was. Once the riverboat would have been a symbol of opulence and decadence. Now it looked plain sinister. It was the Spirit Queen riverboat. Decks rotting, smokestacks toppling, and its hull sinking into the gator-infested bayou. The only way aboard was along the rickety jetty.
Okay. Then let's go back into town. Maybe we'll find a way to steal some underwear after all. Put the fish guts in there.
What do you think of this shrunken head?
You didn't get that from Dr. Moray, did you? My advice would be to use your own head. Keep away from that stuff.
Good evening, Ned.
Hello again, Mac.
You didn't tell me the Spirit Queen was a riverboat.
Oh, sure. That thing's been moored up in the bayou with her keel kissing the mud for years. Which doctor lives aboard her now? Claims to sell all manner of hoodoo and voodoo. But to believe that, you need to be dumber than the bachelor in New Orleans, throwing beads at the Sisters of Mercy.
Catch you later, Ned.
See you around, Mac.
Not gonna lie, Ned and Max sounds like the name of a bomb duo.
I couldn't do that.
Those were too far away, right? Do we need the fishing pole, maybe?
I decided to leave Ned to his fishing.
Oh yeah, our arms are too short.
There was nothing I...
Come on, I want to buy... Want to buy the fishing pole so I can steal some underwear.
Set up on the seafront was an elaborate... The sign
guess
read, "The Fantastic Fantoccio brothers will be performing tonight. All ages welcome. Tips welcome even more."
Okay. Should I
That
pay
wasn't
money up
going to
front?
work. There wasn't much reason to tip when the performance hadn't started yet.
Yeah, maybe I thought I'd tip up front, you know? Welcome back, After Link. I think we're doing good. Stumbling across the game. Good morning.
The door was locked with a sign in the window saying closed. I could see two gentlemen inside the store. A spindly man with a wiry mustache had his face pressed against a display cabinet. I'd seen similar behavior in...
Okay, well, I don't feel like I can do anything.
I couldn't do that.
I mean, I can try and
I couldn't do
combine
that.
some stuff.
That didn't work. That wasn't going to work. I needed to think of something else. The decorative iron gate was closed with a secure lock.
Okay, nothing wrong. Then let's go back to our darling little girl at the beach. Maybe she's interested in a shrunken head. I mean, that's basically a doll, right?
The shrunken head was already disturbing enough without shoving rotting seafood inside it. How would you like to trade your tin boat for this?
A doll?
At least the head of one.
Deal!
Ah, works. Okay, cool.
Oh, I'll hug him and kiss him and conquer the world with him.
Hard to starboard, little boat. Prepare to weigh anchor.
Are we the main character's friends on the other side? Maybe. Okay, she's happy.
A helium-filled balloon. I didn't want to take the little girl's balloon from her. Her brooding face made it more than clear that it wouldn't be a good idea to get on her bad side.
Look, if she's happy, I'm happy.
She seemed busy with her new friend.
Okay, cool. Can
I packed the
put-
fish guts into the tin boat. It was the smelliest little ship to sail the 7 seas.
Aha! Nice, 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 nice. So that worked. Then let's go back to the Spirit Queen and... Oh ho!
Mr. McAllen,
Yes? How do you know my name?
it's a work assignment that brings you to the island. Am I right?
She began staring at me with intense, hypnotic eyes. Disguised
do you
within her
know that?
tailored outfit and tortoiseshell spectacles, she had the crazed look of someone not entirely in touch with reality. That's right.
An auditing job.
Eyes that looked like she was reading my very thoughts. Yes?
And you're late. Days late.
I was beginning to panic. Ned had warned me about the supernatural on this island. Was this person standing in front of me equipped with psychic powers that could read my very thoughts? How do you know all this? Are you the witch doctor?
The witch
No.
doctor? No. It was written on this telegram that came in for you. It came through a few days ago now. Your boss isn't too happy by the looks of it. Bill Bolam, the taxi driver, telephoned and said I'd find you out here.
You're reading my telegrams?
I'm a newspaper reporter. It's one of the best ways to get a good story. Now, do you want it or not?
If you wouldn't mind.
McAllen, you're late reporting in. I don't remember authorizing the reopening of a cold case, but you better make sure it pays off, or you'll be swapping desks back to the mailroom. Sid Sinclair, Sinclair Auditing Company.
Do you want to send a reply?
What was there to say? My only contact was going to be pushing up daisies by morning, and my one lead was the magazine I'd been carrying with me since heading out. Before I checked in with my boss, I needed some progress to report badly. You know, for now I'll just leave it.
Suit yourself. Sounds like you're up to some fun on the island, Murphy. Be a sweetie and keep me updated so I have something to write about, won't you?
She didn't even wait for a reply before she started striding back through the bayou. She hadn't taken a single thing from me, and yet somehow, I still felt like I'd just been mugged.
Well, that just means she's a good reporter.
Perhaps this would attract the gator's attention. The hulking mass of scales and muscles lumbered to the edge of the jetty and dangled its toothy jaws over the side, its nostrils flickering at each waft of fish guts. It was the spirit.
Now the crane? Give him a little push.
Ready? Aim.
Some drum roll.
With a splash that would be the envy of any cannonballing kid at a pool party, the irritable reptile disappeared into the murky bayou. I just hoped it didn't hold a grudge.
Oh, for sure it doesn't. I think doing this IRL would have been a good idea. Me neither, but we're just lucky this is a video game. Taxidermied fish, let's take it.
The taxidermied fish looked like it was barely hanging on to the rotting wooden frame. Deciding it would be better coming with me, I picked it up. And in doing so, tore a long hole in its previously stitched up seam.
Nice. What's in there?
It was the taxidermied fish I'd taken from the riverboat, with a ripped seam opening up to the stuffing inside.
Best idea getting a cannonball. Best idea ever. But hey, the reply is pre-paid. That's good.
It was the telegram from my...
McAllen, I don't... Sidson.
It was the
McAllen, I... Sidson.
Okay. So let's see, what else can we look at here on the riverboat queen, the spirit queen, sorry. Okay, that's just looking at the boat again, so let's go inside.
Spirits and specters from realms yet unknown, guide to me the wanderer who searches alone. Welcome, Murphy McAllen.
How do you know my name? Have you been reading my telegrams too?
I have no need for such trivial paperwork. I have eyes all over this island. Now it's time for me to see you for myself. Come, step into the light. I know a lot about you, Murphy. Unknown parents, a childhood spent in orphanages. I know things about you even you don't know.
How do you know all that?
My name is Dr. Moray. I am a conjurer, a shadow man, a controller of spirits that balance the line between life and death. And those spirits whisper to me. But for now, it's your time to talk, Murphy. Tell me why you've come to my humble abode.
I've been told you could help me.
That depends on what you seek.
I kept telling myself that the doctor's theatrics didn't convince me. That there must have been a logical reason why he knew what he did. But with how skittish the locals were, humoring him seemed like my only chance of learning more. I'm looking for the $13 million that went missing from the Bellemore accounts. I'm an auditor in the company I work for.
Murphy, do you take me for a fool? I know what your mind sees when your eyes are closed. Tell me, Murphy, what do you dream of?
Shouldn't you know that? From the way you talk, shouldn't you know what I dream of? Why do I have to tell you? We're no friend. How old are we? 36? Ooh, good question. I don't know. Didn't say as far as I remember. But yeah, from the looks, I'd guess something between 20s and 30s. I dream about completing my work assignment. Nah, I dream about finding the lost treasure. And why do we have no shoes on?
I dream about finding the lost treasure of Bellemore Manor.
I see that spirit within you, hungering for more than an auditor's life. And I know you've dreamed about that treasure every night since you first read the story. Tell me I'm not right.
It's like the treasure is calling out for me to find it.
Many have sought the lost treasure of Bellemore Manor. All have failed. Some, it is said, have perished in the process. Do you know what happened at Bellemore Manor all those years ago?
The ghost story? I've read it, but I don't know how much of it is really true.
All of it. Dark magic runs throughout Bellemore Manor. The house was built by the Bellemore brothers, 3 merchants from England who made their fortune trading across the Caribbean. Xavier Bellemore, an explorer, Yardley Bellemore, an actor, and Cecil Bellemore, a scientist. Their parents dead for many years, they each loved and cared for their young sister, Abigail. Abigail met a young sailor who worked aboard her brother's ships, and in less than a year, he proposed. The engagement was a scandal. Despite having the pick of any eligible bachelor in high society, her hand and her share of the Bellemore fortune was to go to a commoner. Because of their unconditional love for their young sister, the Bellemore brothers sanctioned the union. But people began to wonder if Abigail was being locked into marriage, whether by blackmail or black magic. The 3 proud brothers planned a grand wedding, but in the months leading up to it, one by one, each of the brothers was lost, presumed dead. And yet the wedding was still to go ahead. And with Abigail set to inherit the entire Bellemore fortune once she came of age, people began to wonder whether the sailor was not a perpetrator, but a pawn. On the morning of the wedding, Abigail summoned the sailor to her chambers. "I don't love you," Abigail declared. "I never loved you." And before the guests gathered in the house, Abigail declared that she would marry another. On that same evening, John Rackham, first officer of the Bellemore Trading Company, would be her new groom. Except that didn't happen. That night, everyone in the house suddenly and mysteriously vanished. Perhaps it was the last revenge of the scorned sailor. In the house that night was a heart that would be broken, a victim who would be tricked, and a force that would unleash evil. But no one knows exactly who each was. If you want to find the treasure, Murphy, you'll have to find out.
You're telling me that all of that actually happened?
And so much more, Murphy. Mysteries you have yet to uncover.
Dr. Morey's performance was gripping, but it seemed like something out of the vaudeville shows I'd snuck into as a teenager. Grifters peddling magic spells, fortune-telling, and miracle elixirs. At least that's what I tried to tell myself. And the treasure, is that real too?
It is as real as you are, Murphy. And someone went to a lot of trouble hiding it.
Can you help me find it?
I can. If you can prove your dedication to the search, I will need you to retrieve something from inside the house.
Whatever,
A small
yes.
leather pouch called a gree-gree still lies inside Abigail Bellemore's bedroom. We will need it if I am to help you. This will get you inside
I'm so down. Yes, let me go into the spooky house.
You're not gonna pull a rabbit out of your hat for your next trick, are you?
I do not do tricks, Murphy McCallan. You'll soon learn this. The Bellemore estate lies at the end of the northeastern peninsula of Devil's Rock. Find that gree-gree and bring it back to me.
Okay. Officer Peninsula.
I'll be here when you return. And Murphy, this ghost story? Now it's your story, too.
Why is he looking worried? This is fun.
There was no use returning to the riverboat without the green.
Okay. So I can't look around there, huh? Great. It was nice having that cutscene and the witch doctor tell us everything, but it was a little redundant since I read the article in the magazine and we had basically had all of the information there.
Framed by trees and lit by moonlight, Bellemore Manor stood imposingly in the still night air. Even without any lights on, it felt like something inside the house was calling me. Or warning me.
Or both.
A large pond lay in front of the house, slowly being reclaimed by algae, weeds, and who knew what else.
Gators.
I considered wading into the pond, water up to my waist, squelching my way through the reeds and mud, past frogs, bugs, and water snakes. Then I realized I had absolutely no reason to do that.
Just for the fun of it. Got a plan? Go in, grab treasure, get out. Great plan. Absolutely
Bellemore
down.
Manor stood proudly and enigmatically at the center of the estate. Who knew what had gone on inside its walls?
Well, the people who were there.
From the outside, I couldn't spot any clues to the location of the Bellemore treasure.
Path, okay. More path, more path. Island. Ooh. Oh!
A
Horseshoe!
horseshoe hung above the threshold of the gazebo, supposedly a symbol of good luck.
Can I take it?
Ouch!
Yay! I'm getting a horseshoe.
So much for good luck.
Hey, you never know.
I picked up the horseshoe that had assaulted me. It was heavy, as the bump on my head attested.
Assaulted. Stop whining. You're gonna be rich by the end of the night. Ooh, I can look at the moon.
It was the full moon. I didn't think I'd ever seen it glow so brightly before.
Must be the air.
Gazing up at the glowing moon, it reminded me of a poem I could recite by heart, even if I couldn't remember where I'd first heard it. From way up high, the moon can spy beyond where eyesight delves, but with some time, the maritime can see those sights themselves.
That is pretty.
A table and chairs sat inside the gazebo, an echo of better days. From the patina of rust, it was clear the patio set hadn't been used in decades.
Okay, where's the path going? Is that just going around the house, or do we get a new location? Oh!
An old carriage wheel sat discarded in the grass.
Carriage wheel, but no carriage.
The wheel was too heavy to move.
A barrel with molasses. That looks like a spring trap.
A barrel hung from a rope marked in stenciled writing, molasses. The barrel dangled from the rope like a piñata, but having this burst over my head would be the first step in getting tarred and feathered. The doors were firmly locked from the inside. The cow skull was out of reach, high up on the gable. A cow skull
too
was
bad.
mounted on the frame as a macabre decoration.
Okay, just double checking. Can I untie the rope?
The knot was tied so tightly I couldn't loosen it.
Okay, so I have to cut the rope somehow. Okay, nice. Currently, I don't
Looking
have
out over the
anything.
tranquility of the gardens, its magnolias lit by moonlight, nothing could take my attention away from the macabre sight dangling from the oak tree. A hanged skeleton, its wedding suit little more than tattered rags clinging to bone, and its skull seemingly watching me with hollow, unblinking eyes. An eternal groom without a bride.
Ooh.
A
Spooky.
dying tree stood next to the balcony, its branches devoid of leaves, its bark flaking away. The stark trunk of the tree didn't offer any possibility of climbing it. A skeleton, clothed in wedding attire, hung by the neck from a branch of the tree. Glinting in the moonlight was a wedding ring it still held clasped in its bony fingers. The skeleton hung high up in the tree, swaying with each slight breeze. Even from down on the ground, I felt disturbingly close to it.
They're gonna get even closer, I bet. Okay, nice. Love that there are actual locations around the house, and that it's not just a shortcut to the other side of the house like before.
From
Alright,
the
then let's
outside,
go
I
in.
couldn't spot any clues to the location of the Bellemore treasure. I needed the key.
A good thing I have
With a
it.
deep breath, I placed the key into the lock of the house I'd been thinking about for weeks and turned it. Hello? I don't know if I expected a reply, but with only an echo in response, it seemed like nobody was home. I hope that was just the wind.
Sure.
It wasn't time to leave. I needed to explore the house.
I mean, we can at least open the door again, yes? To make sure they aren't locked.
An orb
Ooh.
appeared seemingly from nowhere, glowing and shimmering with energy, simultaneously captivating and terrifying. It was like it had a presence, an aura that I couldn't explain. My first instinct was to look for smoke and mirrors, but this illusion was right before my very eyes, one that I could reach out and touch.
Alright, give me 10 minutes to look around the room and then I'll follow you, I swear.
With neither of the doors appearing to open, I peered through the crack between them. I couldn't tell if I was imagining things, but it looked like shadows dancing.
Yeah, you're matching things. Okay. I was expecting a mystery, not an actual ghost story. Well, we do have real
Huge
ghosts here.
paintings hung on the walls of the hall.
As is usual in manors like this.
It was a painting of Abigail Bellemore, hauntingly beautiful. The door didn't have a visible lock, but as much as I tried, it wouldn't open. A marble fireplace sat between the two curved staircases, guarded on each side by stone lions. Without a flue, the fireplace seemed entirely decorative, and yet, standing in front of it, I could feel a breeze.
But that's good. That means it should still function. As
Like
intended
the other
if we
door,
light a
this
fire.
door had no keyhole, yet still seemed to be locked too. I remembered seeing reproductions of the paintings in the Merry and Macabre magazine I had. It was a family portrait of all 4 Bellemore siblings. The 3 brothers stood around their seated younger sister.
True. Version of that picture was in the magazine.
It was a stone statue depicting 2 Greek deities of the sea, so skillfully carved it looked like the water droplets on their skin might drip away at any moment.
So Poseidon and damn it, what's the English word for those? Sea siren? Siren? Yep. Okay.
The 2 sea deities stared at me with
What's in the East
Clearly, the
corner?
artist had managed to imbue the brushstrokes with something of the subject's personality. It was downright sinister.
Any idea who that is? Doesn't look like one
The
of the
portrait
brothers.
exuded an unsettling aura. I didn't know who it was, but I didn't like the way he looked back at me. I tried to open the trunk, but in the darkness I only managed to fumble unsuccessfully with the latch.
Yo, we have some giggling. And yeah, absolutely. The best explorers always get in wrong ways first. That's how you find secrets in games. Okay, that has to be the door, the rooms of the 3 brothers. Xavier. And I forgot the other 2 names. Cecil and Yardley. So Xavier, Cecil, Yardley. You do that as well? It's
The
the
door
only way
was
to play
locked.
video games.
The door was locked.
Ah, too bad.
The door was locked. The
Unfortunate.
door was marked Y, possibly the chambers of Yardley Bellemore. There was nothing behind the curtains. Thick red curtains hung loosely in front of the circular window. The door was marked C. I guessed it was Cecil Bellemore's bedroom. The door was marked X, presumably the room of Xavier Bellemore. A heavy trunk sat in the corner of the corridor.
Alright, then let's go into the west corridor. Ooh.
This was strange. I didn't remember seeing any lights on when I was outside the house. Affixed to the wall were 3 servants' bells, used to call the staff to different rooms in the house. I couldn't ring the bells from the hallway. It was a door to an unknown room.
I love unknown rooms.
The door was locked. It was a door.
Guessing locked, but let's try.
The door.
Yep. Curtains.
Thick red curtains were tied back in front of the window. I looked behind the curtains, but there was nothing there.
Ah, too bad. Alright then. Into the room we go.
Walking into the room, I realized it must have been Abigail's bedroom. I was in the right place. Somewhere in this room was the Gree-Gree, and I needed to find it. A cord hung from the wall used to call the attention of the house staff. It was a grand 4-poster bed with a carving of a single rose on its canopy. The sheets lay flat on the bed, undisturbed for more than 30 years. The Gree-Gree wasn't going to be there.
Are you sure?
It was a marble fireplace covered in dust. Lighting the fire may have warmed the room, but it couldn't take away the chill I felt standing there. A grate opened beneath the stove to the ash pan, designed to allow burned charcoal and ashes to be cleaned out, and something inside it was glinting in the light.
I was about to say, I see something glinting.
I tried to lift the ash pan grate, but decades without use had rusted it in place. I took the poker from the hook.
Get out.
I hope that was my imagination.
Come on, Abigail, don't be like that. Don't be such a spoilsport.
I wedged the poker in the grate, and with all my might, pulled. I picked up the object that had been glinting in the fireplace and discovered it was a jeweled brooch.
Ooh,
It was
pretty.
an ornate brooch that had tarnished with age. What should have been a sparkling gem was now grimy and dull. Above the fireplace hung individual portraits of 3 men. They must have been the bride's 3 brothers. The portraits hung tight to the wall and didn't reveal anything hidden behind them. It was an old phonograph used for playing music. The phonograph didn't have a record to play.
Ah, too bad.
Through the dust and grime that had built up on the glass, I could see that the doors opened out to a balcony overlooking the pond below. I tried to open the balcony doors, but they were locked securely. I wasn't getting through them. The corner of the room held a dressing table with a large trifold mirror. The phonograph in the corner of the room could be seen in the reflection. I couldn't see anything special about the phonograph's reflection. It was a beautiful vase waiting for beautiful flowers. It was best to leave the vase where it was. The music box was locked with no visible keyhole, but a distinctive indent on the front looked like it might be the mechanism to open it, if I had the right key.
Mm-hmm.
The brooch fitted snugly into the indentation in the music box. With a small click, the music box opened and revealed the contents it had held untouched for more than 30 years. Inside the music box lay the small leather pouch that had been described to me, the gree-gree. The small leather bag was just as the witch doctor had described. It was hard to imagine what could be so important about it.
We found that treasure. Let's go. Oh,
You
hey,
should
Abigail.
not be here.
You should not be here.
Wait, I can explain.
You don't belong here.
I don't
you
need
don't
any
belong
harm.
here.
Get out. Get
You get
out.
out. You get out.
With good fortune, the pond had broken my fall. It was a strange juxtaposition, wiggling goldfish out of my underwear as I tried to process the fact that I'd just been the victim of an attempted murder by a ghost bride. The stories were true, so that meant the treasure might be real as well. And now I had the gree-gree. It was time to return to the Spirit Queen.
Murphy, did you find it?
I saw her. I saw the bride. She tried to kill me.
I told you it was true. Now, do you have the gree-gree?
Yes, I found it.
Good. Good. Now, do you believe what I've been telling you?
I'm starting to. Why did she try to kill me?
There are some spirits that, even in death, do not wish to give up what they amassed in life. The question is, are you strong enough to persuade them?
I would be if they'd give me a chance to ask them.
Precisely. That will be our next step.
Okay, it looks like a book. Almost, okay.
A manuscript for a voodoo spell? A spell to help me find the treasure?
A spell to reveal those who know where it is. There are many things on this island that have gone unseen. Stories that have been left unheard, at least by mortals. But I commune with realms beyond. Let me introduce you to a friend. Out of the shadows, the cursed and the damned, return now, my servants, to do my command!
I have returned to you, Master.
Loa, this gentleman wishes to find the lost treasure of Bellemore Manor. Tell him how this can be done.
Only inhabitants of the house know where the treasure lies, their spirits still within its walls, trapped between life and death. To ask them, those spirits must be pulled back to the mortal realm.
And that is what our spell will do, Murphy. A summoning spell to unveil the ghost trapped within the house.
7 ingredients place inside, tie closed and then unseal. Within the focus what may hide, this spell will soon reveal.
Once you've collected all 7, we can summon the ghosts of Bellemore Manor. Once we've summoned the ghosts, we can ask them exactly where the treasure was hidden. You have served me, Loa. Be gone. That, Murphy, is your goal. Find the 7 ingredients named in the voodoo manuscript, place them in the gree-gree, and return to the Spirit Queen. Are you up to the task?
I think so.
Excellent.
Hell yeah.
Then there's just one thing left to do. The gree-gree that you carry is not yours. It was stolen from the spirits. And an artifact of voodoo will only work for its rightful owner. To be used, it cannot be stolen. It can only be bought, or traded, or inherited. Fortunately for you, the spirits and I are willing to make a trade for something symbolic of your spirit. The spirit that yearns to escape its humdrum life. If you want the gree-gree to be rightfully yours, what do you have to offer in exchange for it?
What about this?
A pocket watch. A symbol of the life that doesn't satisfy you. A symbol of lost time. Dare you give it up?
I think I can do without it.
Then cast it into the spirit pool. The spirits have deemed it a satisfactory trade. The gree-gree and its powers are now rightfully yours to wield. You are ready now, Murphy. Head out to the island and retrieve the ingredients we need. Then I will show you the final step of the spell.
How am I going to find what I need?
Everything I've ever needed for my voodoo spells, I've found here. It's as though this island draws the supernatural to it. The bayou, the beach, the town, the manor, all will help you in your search. Tell me, Murphy, have you visited the mill to the north, the fort to the south, the church at the island's heart? The island will lead you to that which you seek. I have no doubt about that.
So the all-knowing wizard summon the ghosts, tell us how to do stuff to summon more ghosts, who can then tell us where the treasure is? Seems legit. Totally legit. Most legit shit I've ever heard.
How are the ghosts trapped within Bellemore Manor?
The explosion is what sealed their fate. They exist now only as spirits, the form they should take in the spirit realm, and yet they remain here in the mortal realm. The ghosts are trapped in that house, unseen, unheard, and unable to interact with the world around them. This spell will change that.
How is the bride able to attack me when she's supposedly unseen and unheard?
Voodoo works best when attuned to emotion, and the strongest of those emotions can sometimes push beyond the known limits. She must have been very angry with you.
If I summon the spirits of the house, won't I also summon the bride again?
Very true, Murphy. Best be a little more persuasive this time.
What was the explosion that caused everyone to disappear?
It was a tearing in the very threshold between life and death, a chain reaction of spirit energy suddenly unleashed by the most violent of emotions. Just as the bride's anger allowed her to manifest in front of you this very evening, think of the rage that must have caused an entire household to explode and vanish.
Who is the creature that you talked to?
That is my Loa, the Loa of the mysteries, the invisibles, the messengers.
Is it a ghost?
No, they are the intermediaries between humans and the supernatural. There are two planes of existence, Murphy, the mortal realm and the spirit realm. Loa can move between them both. With my powers, I can command them when they do.
How did you learn voodoo?
I have always been adept with the mystic arts. Just as you dream of treasure, Murphy, I dream of power. I came to Devil's Rock many years ago, drawn by its voodoo energy, and no sooner than I arrived, the spirit realm began to reveal itself to me, pleading for me to be its master.
Why is this island such a focus of voodoo energy?
I suspect the answer to that question already lies in what you're seeking.
What's this riverboat we're aboard?
This is the Spirit Queen. It used to be a pleasure boat, plying the rivers around the island, a den of drinking and gambling. That's how I came to own the boat. A lucky game of chance. But between you and me, Murphy, it's a lot easier to win when you have spirits to control the roll of the dice.
It sounds like you cheated.
Fate was always gonna bring this boat to me. I just hurried it along.
Do you keep an alligator as a pet?
That's right. My dear old Mephistopheles. Blind as a bat, but with the smell of a bloodhound. Good thing he's chained up safely in the boiler room.
No, he isn't. He was out on the jetty when I was trying to get aboard.
Where is he now?
Swimming in the bayou.
Oh dear, not again.
I'm going to go and find the voodoo ingredients.
Hurry back.
So the wizard didn't know that, huh? Part 1, the summoning spell. Okay, so we were given 3 new locations. Question is if we can find all the stuff we need there. So...
It was a handful of nails, once used to seal up a coffin.
Need some chalk?
It was a crumbling piece of chalk. It was a pair of feathers, both black.
I remember seeing a black raven at the manor.
It was a small mound of gunpowder. It was a single coin made of silver.
I mean, we have a quarter right now. That looks
It was
silver.
a bottle filled with rum.
Oh, yeah, yeah, ho, in the bottle
It
of
was a
rum.
fragment of bone.
Yeah, we have the skeleton. I can already see where I can get some of that stuff.
It was a manuscript that looked hundreds of years old, with the instructions to a spell that summoned things hidden within. It was a man.
Okay, yeah, how can I go back? That's how, okay.
I placed the dime into the gree-gree. That would work as the silver coin.
There we go. One thing is done. Ghost afterwards, where's the rum gone? Yeah, where's the rum gone? Okay, let's check other locations. Ooh, new items.
As I picked up the bottle, I anticipated what could be inside. A brine-stained treasure map, perhaps, or a scribbled plea from a castaway desperately awaiting rescue. Looking inside, I found it was empty. The only writing on it was the embossed glass letters of the Orangello Soda Company. It was an empty soda bottle I'd found on the beach.
Okay, we'll see what we can use that for.
I peered into the tide pools, but all I could...
Okay, nothing new there. Then let's go back into town.
The stories about Bellemore Manor are true. I saw the ghost bride inside the house.
Blast it, Murphy. Don't say I didn't warn you. This island has had its fair share of the macabre. The best way to deal with it is to leave well enough alone. Why are you searching for that treasure anyway?
Well, it's my job. The state's claim on that money runs out at 8 a.m., and I'm supposed to find it.
You seem pretty passionate about something that's just for work. What are the odds you draw an assignment like that?
Well, I might have made my own luck there. They wouldn't normally authorize an investigation so close to the statute of limitations running out, especially on a 30-year-old cold case. But thrust a stack of forms in front of the boss 5 minutes before clocking off on a Friday afternoon, and he doesn't care what he's signing.
Well, let's just hope he wasn't signing your death warrant.
Most of my
Damn, you're a bad
investigations
boy,
don't
Murphy.
amount to more than counting paper clips in a municipal building or going cross-eyed over receipt rolls in a courthouse. When I found that old case folder tucked behind the filing cabinet, its only lead, a water-stained magazine, talking about a real-life haunted house, how could I pass it up? I spoke with Dr. Moray. He thinks we can make contact with the ghosts.
Moray is a charlatan and a fool. Only got into hoodoo and voodoo a few years ago. Before that, he was an actor over at the Calliope Theater, and not a very good one. He's the only person I know who directed and starred in a one-person production of The Pirates of Penzance. And that's because all the rest of the cast dropped out rather than work with him. He's always been searching for respect and recognition. Who would have known he found it by living in the swamp and reeking of incense?
Damn. That puts a new perspective on the guy, and I need that knife, by the way.
Don't you believe in voodoo?
I certainly do. I just don't think Moray's got any more control of it than the rooster has control of the sunrise. His understanding of voodoo amounts to whatever he's gleaned from one of those horror pictures Ventura Studios puts out at the movie palace. My mama used to know all about it. God rest her soul. Voodoo isn't some made-up Hollywood magic, Mac. Voodoo's a real religion. It's about community, about belonging, and about searching for something more than flesh and blood. It's not the snake oil he peddles.
What do you think happened at Bellemore Manor?
Now there's a tale I don't like to tell.
Can I persuade you to tell it anyway?
I have a feeling I ain't gonna get any rest until I do. You know about Miss Bellemore, the bride, engaged to the sailor? Nah, the way I hear, Mr. Rackham was over the moon with her. Such an upstanding fellow. I won't have a bad word said against him. Now he realized that the sailor was going through terrible lengths to ensnare his bride, and Mr. Rackham tried to save her. I heard that the sailor caught on to this and tricked Rackham into giving the lady a gift. That's what made everything go topsy-turvy.
What was the gift?
There are places in the Caribbean that trade things more elusive than gold. Ungodly things.
Do you think the disappearance was caused by voodoo?
And that's what my mama used to say. If you're not careful, that stuff can go to your head.
Why won't you hear a word against Mr. Rackham?
He gave me my first work on this island, right here on these docks. And I'm still here to this day. He may have worn a scar, but you don't judge a banana by its peel with people like him, Mac. When I looked into his eyes, all I saw was ambition.
What work did you do?
Loading and unloading the ships that came in. Of course, they just don't do that anymore. Dead Nettle's a forgotten town. Maybe that's for the best.
No luck fishing?
Not a bite, Mac. The Pengoza fish just ain't snapping for me today. Shame, too, because I'm planning on firing up my grill later. And the tastiest catch in these waters.
How do you catch a Pencoza fish?
With hours of patience and decades of practice. You ever wrestled the rod before?
Just the once. I went fishing on Lake Erie, but the only thing I caught was a cold. What do you do with the fish you catch?
A couple I save for myself, and the rest I sell to the captain's club. They fancy 'em up with lemon lobsters, slawfish, something or other. But everyone knows the best way to cook 'em is to grill 'em.
Catch you later, Ned.
See you around, Mac.
Hey, Ned, do you mind if I borrow your knife?
If you need it, Mac, just bring it back to me later tonight, would you? If I'm lucky with my
Yeah.
catch, I'll be firing up the grill. You're invited to join me, of course.
Nice. Got me a knife. Alright, also, we can talk to the journalist. Let's go.
Murphy McAllen, so you're still here. What have you been up to? Anything newsworthy?
That's none of your business. Don't think I've forgotten your trick with the telegram.
Hey, it's nothing personal. Your business is my business, and my business is news. I'm Evelyn Stoker, editor of the Juniper Parish Gazette. No misdeed left unshared, no drama left unmonetized. Come on, work with me here, McAllen. I need something juicy. Committed any crimes? Uncovered any affairs? Any deep, personal secrets to reveal?
The honest-to-God truth? No.
I need a good story. I can't let something minor like the truth stand in the way of that.
Wow, what a wonderful journalist.
I picked up the scissors. With her stunt at the bayou, I figured she owed me one. I picked up the twine. Maybe she owed me two.
Let me pick something else. I like to steal things after all.
It was a big, fancy printing press, which must have cost a fortune decades ago, but was now very much out of date.
Don't even think about it. The spring on that printing press looks like it's going to blow at any moment.
Yes, I see something about a lost stock, but that's just a headline.
On the floor was a large canister filled with dark black printer's ink. Around it, the floor was stained with ink splatters. I didn't want to get ink all over me trying to carry the canister around.
Can I maybe get some on the twine?
I couldn't do that.
Couldn't or wouldn't? Maybe get some
Trying
in
to
the
fill
bottle?
the bottle with ink would have made too much of a mess. If I needed some ink, I could always come back to the newspaper office.
Okay, so not carrying ink with me. Got
Back
it.
wall, the newspaper office was filled with filing cabinets. From the labels on the front, they looked to be archived issues of the Juniper Parish Gazette.
Hey, you can't come back here.
Sorry.
Ah,
Yes?
Hi. What are you working on?
One of the most romantic articles this newspaper's ever seen. Francois Fogg, Dead Nettle's local pharmacist, is reuniting with his long-lost love after 14 years apart, thanks to this newspaper's personal ads column.
What a lovely story.
That's right. She mailed in a letter she wanted printed. Her former sweetheart saw it, and now they're on track to see each other again. Eventually.
Eventually?
Well, that's a bit of an administrative issue. In the letter we received, she told him to meet her in her Texas hometown of Magnolia. Due to a tiny typesetting error, he's now on a 6-week voyage to Mongolia. But doesn't it warm your heart how far people will go for love?
bitch. I initially wanted to say, okay, that's actually nice. But no. She's an absolute bitch.
Don't you have more interesting stories to write about?
The crackpots this island calls a population wouldn't know something interesting if they paid for it. Which they hardly do. Believe me, I've tried to get juicier stories. Scouring the island, doorstop interviews, hiding under windows.
You eavesdrop on people through their windows?
It's called investigative reporting.
I'm doing some research on the treasure of Bellemore Manor.
Have you found it?
Well, no, not yet. I've just started looking.
Then don't waste my time. Come back when you've got the goods.
You might not believe this, but I saw a ghost inside Bellemore Manor.
You know what? You're right, McAllen. I don't believe it. Really? You've been on this island how long? And you're already starting to sound as loopy as a local.
Have you ever written an article on the disappearance at Bellemore Manor?
What a waste of column inches. Leave it. That's my advice. There's no story in it.
No story.
Not one that anyone would believe. And I've got advertisers breathing down my neck.
What do you think went on?
Practically everyone on this island thinks there was some kind of sorcery involved. No one is looking at the reality. If I write up my research, no one on the island will believe me. If I write their wackadoodle theories, I'll be laughed out of the industry.
You can tell me what you've uncovered about Bellemore Manor. Trust me, at this point, few things would surprise me.
I heard the Bellemore Trading Company was losing revenue. Its profits eaten up by who knows what ventures those brothers had going on. I've seen the records. The company was privately owned, sure, but when you've got pressure building and the sharks are circling, you've got to shore up your defenses. I think that's why the Bellemores persuaded Abigail to marry John Rackham.
Marry someone she didn't love?
But he didn't love her either. He was just after the company, so he hires the sailor to seduce her, convince her there's more to life than Devil's Rock. And as soon as she marries Rackham, they split, never to see each other again. He inherits the lot, and she disappears with her lover boy sailor to who knows where.
But why do you think all the guests disappeared?
They bumped them off to cover their tracks. Either one of them could have been sunning it up in Sarasota ever since. But imagine me writing that into a piece of serious journalism.
But if Rackham hired the sailor to seduce Abigail, wouldn't he do that after they got married? Wouldn't the plan be marry Abigail, then hire the sailor? So she either runs away or he can divorce and claim her inheritance for him? Why have the sailor fall in love with her first and plan the wedding for them? Sounds out of order.
Did you know Comptroller Grimes?
How could I forget him? The guy was a walking, talking migraine generator.
Surely you shouldn't speak of the dead like that.
Why not? I spoke plenty worse about him when he was alive. Anyway, I'm sure everything happens for a reason. And hopefully that reason is to increase my circulation numbers. Everything's connected, you know. Have you ever heard of the butterfly effect? I suspect it works for moths, too, because I can never get the damn things out of here. Some people say that if a man breaks wind in Alabama, it can cause a hurricane in Fiji.
I think I shared a train car with that guy on my way here. What's in those filing cabinets?
Past issues of the paper, going all the way back to 1858. Of course, things were a lot more interesting when Dead Nettle was thriving. People, ships, and cargo coming and going. Lots to report on back then. More than the dregs I have to dress up now.
Ooh, maybe I'll have to read up on old issues.
Why did the ship stop coming to Dead Nettle?
The Bellemore Trading Company was the heartbeat of this island. After the disappearance, there was no one left to run the company, and it all got sold off. When that folded, so did pretty much everything else.
Bye, Muddlesin. Thanks for stepping by. Have a great rest of your day.
Do you have any back issues featuring the Bellemore Manor wedding?
We don't, I'm afraid. Most of the paper's directors were at the wedding, and disappeared along with everyone else. The newspaper had to close up shop for months while it was restaffed. This was back when the Gazette wasn't run by just one person.
I think I better be going.
Keep your eyes peeled for a story, McAllen. There are secrets on the island, and it's my job to run advertisements next to them.
There was no way I was going to get past. Besides, I didn't know how to operate it.
Okay, so something about the camera. We potentially can get that. Ooh, the club's open. Okay, the puppet theater isn't for now. Let me also check on the Ooh. Jewelry store is open as well.
Oh, my second customer of the night. I don't know if I can handle such a rush. Welcome, young man, to Doubloon's Jewelry. Oh, the riches to fill your breeches. Jewels, silver, gold, the finest things for you to behold. Whom do I have the pleasure of meeting?
My name's Murphy McAllen.
Oh, a pleasure to meet you. My name's Jasper Crumb, owner and proprietor. Are you looking for something valuable while you're here on the island?
Funnily enough, I am.
Is there a special someone in your life? Looking for an apology gift, perhaps? I've sold more missed anniversary necklaces and drunken fumble earrings than I can count.
No, I don't need anything like that.
Then how about something for yourself? You look like a working man. Could I interest you in a pocket watch?
Actually, I had one up until about an hour ago. Traded it to a glowing green guy for a magic pouch. As the words left my lips, I realized I sounded like a character from Jack and the Beanstalk.
Pardon me?
I'm just here to browse.
Browse away, young man. I'll be here if you need me.
I have a penny to my name. Anything I can buy in your store for that. Free polishing on all purchases. Gemstones bought. Yeah, I thought maybe polishing the brooch. That would be my best choice.
A small glass fishbowl sat on top of a cabinet, the goldfish inside swimming around happily.
Oh, by the way, the scissors.
The fish was already ripped open along the seam. It was the taxidermied fish I'd taken from the riverboat. That didn't work. There was no way I could carry a fishbowl full of water and a live goldfish around with me.
Bottle?
The neck of the bottle was far too narrow for the pudgy little goldfish to swim through.
Damn it. Cut it open?
I didn't need to cut that.
Worth a try.
It was an ornate display cabinet. The cabinet was filled with used jewelry. Rings, brooches, necklaces, and more. Even second-hand, I would have had to save for years to afford any of them. It was a gold leaf-covered carving of what looked like a goose. I inspected the carving. Its woodworm-dotted surface and water-stained edges suggested it had once been much more than a decorative piece in a jewelry store. It was an ornate display cabinet. The cabinet was filled with precious jewels, geodes, and fossils next to a small sign that read, "Treasures of the Earth." The poster read, "Free polishing on all purchases. Gemstones bought." I didn't need the poster.
You sure?
It was an ornate display. The cabinet proudly displayed all manner of gold and silver creations, watches, necklaces, pendants, and more, all made in-house by the jeweler. It was a large polishing machine used to buff up dull, tarnished jewelry. Even if I could reach it, it was probably better for the jeweler to operate equipment like that. The store's cash register sat on the counter. I wondered how long it had been since it was last used. Robbing a jewelry store really wasn't my style.
But it's my style.
It was an expensive-looking jeweler's microscope used to inspect gems and jewelry up close. There was no reason to use the microscope without something to magnify.
Alright, so let's see.
While the microscope was meant for jewelry, I was confident I'd already revealed this brooch's secrets.
But how can you be sure?
Good evening, Mr. Crumb.
How can I help you?
How's business tonight?
You're not a millionaire with an enraged...
I'm not, no.
I didn't think so. Then business tonight is about as lively as a snail drinking decaf. The only other customer I had in here tonight was more interested in the provenance of fossils than the shiny stuff. Booked a private viewing, and then didn't buy anything. Can you believe it? The first time in weeks this shop gets a private viewing, and all they're interested in is bones.
You sell fossils, too?
I sell all the treasures of the earth. If it's under the ground and I can sell it, I'm interested.
I hear Burke and Hare had the same philosophy. What are you selling?
We specialize in jewelry and precious stones. Rings, necklaces, earrings, and brooches in this cabinet to my left. Gems, geodes, and fossils in this cabinet to my right. You'd be surprised at how much of an impact some stones can make. My family can tell you that. We also offer a free polishing service on all purchases from the shop. Just bring it in and we'll shine it up for you. Our little thank you to our loyal customers.
How do you know what jewelry was purchased here?
I handcraft everything this shop sells. I have an encyclopedic knowledge of our wares, Mr. McAllen, going back decades.
What's the most valuable thing in here?
I suppose that depends on how you value things, doesn't it?
In dollars and...
Yes, I used to value things that way. But a lack of business has a way of making you more philosophical about these things. Now I'd say the most valuable thing here is Granny.
Granny? Your grandmother is in here?
That's right. In the fishbowl. Granny is my goldfish.
You named your goldfish Granny?
Yes, it was the most wondrous thing. The same day my grandmother Bethesda died, I was out at the local fun fair, and I won this goldfish on the ring toss. When we got home, every time we mentioned Bethesda, that little fish jumped out of the water and back on in. We think Granny's passed on into that fish. What do you think?
I mean this with no disrespect, but I think that's the craziest thing I've come across tonight, and I had a ghost bride trying to kill me.
We all have our quirks.
But don't goldfish only live for a few years? If she was your grandmother, she must have died sometime around the middle of the last century.
Oh yes, that's right. Each time the goldfish dies, Granny's spirit hops into a new fish. We must be on Granny number 44 by now.
Damn, it's a lot of grannies.
I'm looking for lost treasure.
I'd say you found it. Everything inside these four walls is a treasure, handmade to the finest quality.
I mean a specific treasure. The lost treasure of Bellemore Manor.
Well, if you find it, bring it in here for an appraisal. I'll give you a good price for it. But that's a pretty big if, isn't it?
What do you know about Bellemore Manor?
Oh, it's a tragedy what went on there. But I know what I think. Black magic.
Black magic?
That's right. While some of us make an honest living around these parts, there are others who are lured in by the darker depths of the sea.
Who do you think that was?
Well, it's simple, isn't it? Abigail used to stop by here all the time, taking a gander at the rings and the necklaces. She was a lovely young girl who always saw the best in people. And Mr. Rackham, he was a model for how to run a good business. Honest and decisive. Now, that only leaves one person, doesn't it?
The sailor?
Exactly. I'd heard rumors about black magic going on inside Bellemore Manor. I think he was casting his spell on Abigail, making her fall in love with him. Why else would someone as rich as her want to marry someone like him? He certainly couldn't afford the rings and necklaces that caught her eye. I think, come the night of the wedding, she wised up. That's why she decided to marry Mr. Rackham after all, a much more responsible choice for the company.
Yeah, I'm feeling like it was the other way around. Like the sailor was like her true love, and then something compelled her to change her mind.
What's the carving on the front of your counter?
That is the genuine stern carving of the Golden Goose, the famous brigantine. I could trace my family's history on the island back hundreds of years, right back to the ship's owner, Captain Bartholomew Crumb. You've heard of him, I expect.
Captain Crumb, the vicious pirate? I read about him as a child.
One of the most successful in the Caribbean. That is, until, as the story goes, he got pursued by a ghost ship.
A ghost ship? Surely that can't be more than a legend.
Then how do you explain this? Without a single shot fired, every sailor aboard his ship fell down dead, victims of an evil pirate who wielded a black stone. Captain Crumb was the sole survivor. He escaped undetected in a rowboat, and after days at sea, made it to this very island. After that, he never went to sea again. Instead, he set up this shop with the one chest of jewels he'd managed to carry away. Some of the gems you see around here still date back to that final hoard.
A black stone killed the crew?
Well, so the story goes. I suppose it explains my family's obsession. Not just the gold and jewels that tempt us, but the wicked stones that threaten us.
Why did Captain Crumb come to Devil's Rock to set up his store?
This was his home port. Devil's Rock used to be quite the lawless island. Legend goes he used to hide his treasure along the southeastern coastline. The island is dotted with caves. Plenty of places to hide the loot.
I think I'll just look around for now.
I'm here if you need me.
Maybe we'll find more than one treasure tonight.
Excuse me, would you be able to polish a brooch for me?
Let me take a look. Oh, well, 18-karat yellow gold, filigree wirework in a handcrafted floral motif, and round, brilliant cut ruby, if I'm not mistaken, made to fit a music box?
That's right. How did you know that?
I know my own handiwork anywhere. Now, how did you get a hold of it?
Oh, just a gift.
What a generous gift indeed. Well, we do offer free polishings on all items purchased here, so I'd be very happy to shine her up for you. Please, bear with me for a moment.
Nice. Okay, now steal something.
It was an robbing a jewelry store. There was no way I could carry.
There we go, shining like a firefly's rear end. I'm afraid the clasp on the back has broken off. You weren't planning on wearing it soon, were you?
I wasn't planning on wearing it at all.
There's no shame in indulging yourself every once in a while. Lord knows I can appreciate the comfort and empowerment a pair of hosiery can bring. Anyway, we don't have any replacement clasps in stock, but I can put it in order. In the meantime, here's a button magnet that should hold it in place, as long as you're not too vigorous with it.
Thank you.
Oh, it's looking pretty now.
It was the ornate brooch I'd had cleaned at the jeweler's, now glimmering in the light. It was the small round magnet I'd been given by the jeweler, meant to attach a brooch without piercing clothing.
Let's see what else we can do with that. Alright, I think we're done here for now.
What a nice young man. Isn't he, Granny? I couldn't have put it better myself.
Are there two fishes in the bowl? Or was that a glitch? Alright, let's see. Captain's Club, what's going on here?
The courtyard echoed with the trickling noise of a small fountain. There was nothing in the fountain except a rim of moss and dirt that made it look like a stained toilet. It was a fancy elevator with a curious layer of dust.
You can't go up there. It's for members only.
What tells you I'm not a member, huh?
Members only.
Well, I am a member.
Maitre D stood behind a tall podium, peering down at a ledger in front of him. Good evening. He looked past me like I was invisible, as though if he ignored me hard enough, there was a chance I'd disappear. I said good evening.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize you were talking to me.
There's no one else here.
Wishful thinking on my part. Have you taken a wrong turn, sir?
I'm just having a look around.
Well, make it a quick one, and I shall need to know your name.
Murphy McAllen, and who do I have the pleasure of speaking to?
My name is Felix Greer, Maitre D, bartender, and acting manager of the Captain's Club. When Mr. Perkins has the night off.
What is this place?
This, sir, is the Captain's Club, a private members club for current and retired sea and riverboat captains. We are highly exclusive. Are you a captain?
He asked with a smugness that told me he already knew the answer.
I thought not. Then may I recommend a swift exit? You'll find a convenient egress to your starboard side. If you like, I can give you a good swift kick in the right direction, sir. And don't feel a need to stop walking until your ankles get soggy.
Damn, aggressive.
I'm looking for the lost treasure of Bellemore Manor.
Oh, goody! Another young adventurer seeking fame, fortune, or some combination of the two. Just the local color Dead Nettle has been lacking.
What do you know about the lost treasure?
Do you think you're living in a storybook? Weathered maps, talking parrots? X marks the spot? Grow up, you silly boy. Captaincy is a noble skill that doesn't need to be trivialized with childish tales of lost treasure.
You must have some thoughts on the disappearance.
On moonlit nights, when the waves crash against the rocks, The captains of this club trade yarns about this very mystery. Did you know Abigail Bellemore's fiancé was a sailor who worked on the ships? Some of the old boys here even worked with him. They say he loved her, as true as a captain loves the sea. But she was a temptress, a siren. She scuttled that sailor's heart, consumed by a voodoo premonition that she had to fulfill. More beautiful than a mermaid, and twice as fishy.
What did she do?
After months of engagement, she broke it off and chose to marry an officer of the company instead, on their very wedding day.
Why did she do that?
The rumors I've heard are that they discovered something in the Caribbean. Something wicked. Something that consumed them and drove them to heinous acts. The Bellemore brothers swore their crew to secrecy, and the men were loyal to their word. But the rot in the rope was that sister, Abigail. People say that whatever they discovered took hold of her. With the sailor's broken heart and the officer's resources, she was about to unleash something terrible. Until the disappearance halted her evil plans.
Do you think that's true?
Of course not. It's all nonsense. But the captains do love to outperform each other with such tales on a dull evening.
What makes you think I'm not a captain?
For one thing, you lack the grizzle, the crustiness, the essential R of a captain.
How do I get those?
Years of exposure to saltwater and a sullen, uncooperative crew, I should think. Do you even have a boat?
Actually, I did have one earlier this evening, but an alligator fell on it. Admittedly, it was only 3 inches long.
It isn't the size that matters, sir. It's the motion of the ocean. Tell me, have you ever captained a three-rigger through a tropical typhoon? Have you ever run the rapids of the Mississippi without hitting a single reef? Wind in your sails? Fire in your furnace? Waves beneath your keel?
Have you?
Well, it's a little complicated.
In what way?
I get seasick.
Is there any way to prove I'm a captain?
You might show me your captain's license. As I'm sure you know, the state of Louisiana requires all captains of both river and sea to carry one. But don't try to foist off a fake on me. Last week, we had someone present a license with a photograph distinctly unlike their contemporary appearance. The photograph was clearly of someone a good deal older than them, with more facial hair, and most importantly, one less eye.
You know, I quite like being out at sea.
Oh, really, sir?
Bobbing along the ocean waves, up and down, like one of those roller coasters at Luna Land. Up and down and up and down.
If sir would please be quiet. Else I expect there'll be a few waves of something coming out of my mouth any moment.
Ooh, am I trying to get rid of him?
Ned told me he sells fish to you. What do you serve here?
Captains.
Right, yes. I mean by way of food.
The Captain's Club serves a dazzling array of sea-sourced dishes. From our house special jambalaya to my personal favorite, Devil's Rock Pancosa, pan-seared with lobster slaw and citrus crawfish beer blanc. In all honesty, it's not very popular. Most of the clientele are absolutely sick of seafood by the time they get ashore. Just the sight of it makes them queasy.
Why do you serve it then? Are you stupid?
What about drinks?
Listen, if you're from the Prohibition Bureau, we've cleared all of that up with Officer Moe. Fines were paid, items changed hands, and now we're clear.
I'm not from any Prohibition Bureau.
Then forget I said anything. The Captain's Club is strictly teetotal, in line with federal law. Now, if certain members wish to bring in their own medicinals, then we're happy to provide the accompanying aids. Ice, tonic, mixers, and the like, but we serve no alcohol on the premises.
Nice little loophole.
Is the club busy tonight?
Well, we haven't opened yet, but if it's like last week, it'll be quite the lively soiree. I could barely keep up.
The members here like to have a good time?
That's right, sir. Both of them. This town sure isn't what it used to be.
Both of them.
What's happened to Dead Nettle?
Do you think you've wandered into the Tourist Information Center? I can assure you, you'll never meet a tourism official who dresses with this much panache. Stuart LePew, head of the Devil's Rock Historical Society, looks like a thrift store had a crisis of conscience and threw up on him.
I was just hoping to talk to someone so obviously knowledgeable about the area.
Well, yes, that is true. I am plagued with an encyclopedic knowledge of the locality. My concierge duties require it. I have a spiel.
Felix pushed out his chest like this was his moment in the limelight, his eyelids half closing as he performed before imagined crowds.
Welcome, hardy traveler, to our quaint port town of Dead Nettle. Once this town you see around you was a hub of commerce, a beacon for ships bravely navigating between America, Europe, and the Caribbean. With the unfortunate dissolution of the Bellemore Trading Company, Our town is settled into a quieter life, perfect for the sailor ready to hang up their cap. We hope that you enjoy your time in our cozy town and perhaps explore some of the local sites here in Dead Nettle. Well,
Excuse me?
I was expecting applause.
I best be casting off.
Don't feel the need to rush back, sir.
Don't you want the third customer tonight? Imagine the fun we could have. Oh,
I filled
yeah.
the bottle with water from the fountain.
This is nice.
It was a soda bottle I'd filled up with water.
Okay, cool. Okay, I think that's all I can do in the town for now. So let's check out the new locations. That's the fort. Oh, gunpowder here, right?
On the wall of the fort was a rusting metal plaque attributed to the Devil's Rock Historical Society. The plaque read,
but
Fort Bellemore, no public access. For further information, please contact the lighthouse keeper.
ah, dang it. Also quite the heroic movie, music.
I jiggled the gate, but it wasn't going to open. If pirates and the colonial powers of Western Europe weren't able to get into the fort uninvited, I wasn't about to either. A barrel marked gunpowder was being rocked by the cat perched on top of it. I could have tried squeezing my arms through the bars, but I already knew the barrel was too far away to reach.
Hey cat, want some
The
fish?
fish had been dead for years, was primarily comprised of stuffing, and smelled faintly of formaldehyde. The cat wasn't going to be interested in it in the slightest.
Okay, so I have to make it smell good at least, huh? Yarn?
The cat seemed too entranced by the light to notice me dangling a ball of twine out for it.
Okay, kill the lights.
I didn't need to pour water on that.
No, throw the bottle, dude. The washer?
Nope. That wasn't going to
Magazine?
work. The
Knife?
knife was so discolored by fish guts and brine, it was too dull to catch the light of the lantern. I didn't. I couldn't. With the newly polished brooch gleaming, I angled it towards the lantern,
Ooh.
catching the light and reflecting a red beam on the wall.
Ah, okay. That's not what I thought. I wanted to destroy the light, but that's what
I took
that
a
works as
handful
well.
of the spilled gunpowder.
Perfect.
That wasn't going to work. I placed the gunpowder into the gree-gree.
Okay, nice. We'll see if I need more from the fort later. Okay, I'm guessing I will get the rum in the captain's club. The black feather, I would be guessing from the bird at the manor. Chalk, I have no idea as of now. Coffin nails, I think maybe here, and or bone fragments. Yeah, bone fragment could be from the corpse. Like the skeleton at the manor as well.
The church door was solid and understated, like much of the rest of the church. The church door was locked. The window looked into the church, if you could see through the decades of dust and grime. The inside of the church was silent and still.
Okay, let's look at the cemetery. Ooh.
A shabby-looking coffin lay unceremoniously on the rickety table. A rusty tin can sat on the ground. Its label read, Bloom's Canned Beef, family-sized. Appetizing. The tin was full of nothing but holes.
Yeah. I was hoping nails.
An antique stove burned quietly in the corner of the tumble-down shack. I didn't need to warm my hands on the stove. It was already a humid night, and the fire was more useful at keeping bugs away from the shack than keeping anyone toasty. The coffin lid had been nailed down securely. I wasn't going to be able to open it. A coffin sat upon a rickety-looking table with one leg shorter than the others. With the jack removed, the table rocked freely.
Nice. Okay, no idea what that's gonna do, but I'm here
The
for it.
graveyard was dotted with headstones. Some old, some young, some legible, some not.
So you're around the middle cemetery.
I scanned the headstones for anything of note, but didn't know what I was searching for. Hello?
Yeah! God darn it! Don't sneak up on people like that! You frighten the dying daylights out of me.
He looked at me like he'd seen a ghost. Sorry, you seem a little jumpy.
I thought you were that pesky little girl again.
A little girl? That doesn't seem like a reason to be scared.
She's a terror! One of these days she's gonna give me a heart attack. Last week, she showed up with a doctor's note she'd forged, saying a man I'd buried that day was just a very deep sleeper. 7 hours I was out here digging him back up, at my age.
And was he sleeping?
Dead as a dodo. Just like that little girl will be if I get my hands on her. Who are you, anyway?
My name's Murphy McCallan. I've just arrived on the island.
Well, welcome, Mr. Murphy. I'm Edgar Kettle. Gravedigger, undertaker, coffin maker, and anything else that needs doing to keep this cemetery running.
I'm looking for the treasure of Bellemore Manor.
Oh, a treasure hunter. Well, let me tell you something, young man. Don't even think about digging up my graveyard. There's no treasure buried here, and I'm already busy enough filling in the holes that are supposed to be here.
Chill. I'm not planning to. Don't give yourself a heart attack, man.
Do you know anything about the disappearance at Bellemore Manor?
I think it's important to let the dead rest in peace.
But what if they're not in peace?
Well, you got me there. Listen, I think there's more to that story than meets the eye. You know the 3 brothers went missing, right? Well, if you ask me, I think Abigail Bellemore was behind it. She was engaged to a sailor, but nobody like her would go for a commoner.
She might have loved him.
She could have loved somebody with a big bank account, too. I think she must have been using him, pretending to love him so he'd do her dirty work for her, bumping off her brothers. Then afterwards, she drops him and goes to marry the officer of the company. Fiendish.
Do you have any proof?
Yeah, just a feeling, that's all. But when you work with cadavers, you kinda get a sixth sense about things.
What do you think was behind the disappearance?
Well, the sailor must have found out he was being manipulated, right? Done something to get his revenge.
What do you think he did?
Nobody knows. He could have been working his way through those bodies like a madman. All we know is that everyone in that house disappeared. To tell you the truth, I'm quite relieved they did.
Why's that?
Because if they hadn't disappeared, it would have been this old fool who had to bury him. Saved me a lot of work.
Yeah, but that would have been over 30 years ago. You would have been much younger back then.
Did you make this coffin?
I sure did. But this is no more than a pauper's coffin by anyone's standards. The finest the parish pension can buy. Lock them in lumber, leave 'em to slumber, that's what I say. This'll end up 5 feet under by the end of the night.
I thought it was supposed to be 6 feet.
You're not the one doing the digging. 5 feet means I get a tea break.
Have you got any spare coffin nails?
No, I don't have any to spare. I've got a backlog of bodies begging for burial. But does the parish increase my funding? Nope. The roof's leaking, my table's broken. I've used floorboards to build some of the coffins. Take my advice. Don't go into this line of work. Undertaking is a dying business.
Do you think I could fit inside the coffin?
Probably not. The gentleman inside might make it a bit of a squeeze.
You mean there's a dead guy inside there?
There better be. I can't afford to be burying empty coffins.
Was the little girl named Mallory Wisp by any chance?
That's her. The peril in a pinafore. She got the whole town thinking I was burying people prematurely. I walked past the school the other day, and they'd made up a jump rope chant about me.
Ooh, what's the jump rope chant?
What was the chant the school children made up about you?
Edgar, Edgar, crazy feller, just be careful he don't get you. How many bodies did he strive to bury while they're still alive?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I wasn't looking for audience participation.
Sorry, I got carried away. Just like you with the burying. Have you ever accidentally buried someone who was still alive?
Has someone been making accusations again?
No, just making conversation.
Well, not that I know of. When you think about it, how would I know?
Shouts for help, desperate shaking of the coffin.
Look, I haven't sealed anyone up who was chatting with me, let's put it that way. I usually check for signs of life, but everyone takes shortcuts sometimes, don't they? I deserve some rest in peace, too.
Actually, there's an easy test you can do. You just have to poke the skin somewhere. If they're still alive and the heart is beating, blood should flow. If their heart is not beating anymore, blood doesn't flow. Like maybe you get a drop, but no significant blood flow. And then of course there's the checking for breath, checking for pulse. Like you can do all of that.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Hopefully not the guy in the coffin.
Not funny.
A little funny.
I best be running along.
Don't drop dead. I don't want anything else on my to-do list.
Okay, I need coffin nail somehow.
I didn't think he'd be interested in that.
Why not? It's worth a lot.
I didn't think he'd be happy knowing I'd taken his screwjack.
Well, he doesn't have to know it's his.
I didn't need to show him that.
Okay. Can I give you a penny for a couple nails?
I didn't need...
Alright, let's look around some more then. It's okay, the graves again. Ooh, what's this?
Embedded into the stony hillside was a large, intricately carved crypt with a decorative geometric pattern on its stone doors. I couldn't see any way to open the crypt door. Not a doorknob, not a keyhole. Whoever sealed this up intended to seal it up for good.
Hurry up with the barrels, Morris. We gotta get these unloaded before anyone sees us.
Are you sure this is a good idea, Musket? I don't think we should be using a church as our hiding place.
You're not being paid to think, Morris. You carry those barrels in here and let me worry about the theological implications. This place has been abandoned for decades. There's nobody around.
Nobody living, maybe. What if there's ghosts, boss?
Darn it, Morris. If brains was dynamite, you wouldn't have enough to blow your nose. Now get unloading. And keep an eye out for anyone snooping around.
What if someone catches us?
If anyone asks, we're the new clergy. We tell them these barrels are full of communion wine.
I thought we was rum runners. not wine runners, boss.
Communion rum den.
Ah, gotcha.
Remember, St. Juniper's Church is a place to get closer to God. And if anyone questions our alibi, we make sure that happens.
The pair of rum runners looked like the human personifications of the dish and the spoon from Hey Diddle Diddle. The gangly spoon bossing around the rotund dish as it carried barrels effortlessly from the jalopy and into the church. As it turned out, nursery rhyme characters become a lot more intimidating once they have revolvers.
Could I block the church door somehow?
That wasn't going to work. That didn't work. I needed to. I couldn't do that. Nope.
The fish? The penny?
That wasn't going to work. That wasn't going to work.
Just trying everything, yeah.
That didn't work. I did. No. A pile of barrels rested precariously in the jalopy. It didn't take a detective to realize that these contained illicit alcohol that would have been jumped on by the or a frat house. The barrels were far too heavy for me to lift, though that gorilla of a rum runner had been picking them up like they were cotton balls. An old jalopy was parked up outside the church, its flatbed filled with barrels. An old jalopy. The jalopy door was locked. How ironic that the rum runners would take care not to be the target of criminality. If the rum runners caught me breaking into their getaway car, I'd end up bundled up inside one of their barrels. Besides, from what I could see through the window, there was nothing worth taking.
Actually, I wanted to destroy the tires. How about that?
I didn't need to do any mechanical work on the jalopy. The noise of smashing barrels definitely would have alerted the rum runners. I would need to be less heavy-handed. I didn't need...
Less heavy-handed.
I didn't...
Okay, how to open the barrel? Less heavy-handed.
I needed...
Okay, but that's why I'm getting the rum, so not the club.
Hello, Edgar.
Yeah.
Do you know there are a couple of gentlemen up by the church?
Rum runners, they are. Dealing with them's not in my job description. As long as they don't mix up the stiffs I'm burying with the stiff drinks they're smuggling, I'm keeping my nose out. Curiosity killed the cat, you know, and I really miss Mittens.
I best be running along.
Goodbye.
The stove was all... That didn't work.
Alright. We'll have to figure something out with that. The mill, eh?
It was a ramshackle chicken coop with infrequent clucks emanating from within. Cluck, cluck, buck, 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 cluck. I tried to persuade the chicken to come outside, but clearly I was out of cluck. A pile of rotting wood lay at the side of the path. The wood was old and rotting. It wasn't going to be of any use. And who knew what critters might have made their homes inside the pile? The mill incorporated a wooden water wheel that turned in the current of the water channel, presumably driving some kind of gear inside. Despite its obvious age, the water wheel was still turning. I couldn't get near it, and that was probably a good thing if I didn't want to get dragged under by the current. The inside of the lumber mill smelled like sawdust and grease. Judging from the overgrown weeds, it clearly hadn't been used in a long time. yet the lights remained on.
Curious. Ooh,
I
look
picked
at
up
that.
the auger from the tool shelf. In the middle of the room was a large sawmill. The conveyor belt would have carried logs up to the blade, cutting them in two. I looked over the machine, but I couldn't find a way to turn it on, if it even still worked. I didn't want to touch it. I hadn't seen something with that many scary-looking teeth since Old Lady Malloy's German Shepherd got loose on my 10th birthday. A series of hatches ran along the back wall of the mill. The hatches were locked. From their shape, I deduced they were for storing lumber, and I wasn't in need of any 2x4s.
But hey, let's trade some. Maybe we get some nails from the Undertaker.
On the wall hung old saw blades, undisturbed since the mill was last in operation. The saw blades were rusted, dull, and would surely have precipitated the need for a tetanus shot. A large round beam rotated slowly in the center of the room. The beam looked to be driven by the water wheel outside. For the multitude of wires fanning out from the top, it was presumably hooked up to a generator. The door had no indication of what lay on the other side. I guessed it might be an office.
Let's check if the door is open then.
I tried the door, but it was locked. I couldn't break my way through the door. It was peculiarly reinforced for a lumber mill.
Unfortunate.
Lubricating the beam so it rotated smoothly was a thick glob of grease. If I touched the grease with my bare hands, I'd be spending hours trying to wash it off. I needed to think of something else. Nope.
Do we need to grease something?
That didn't work. Nope. That wasn't going to work. I needed to think of something else.
Okay, guess not. But let's try and get some rum.
Using the auger, I drilled a small hole in the barrel, and out poured rum. I poured out the water, then began to fill the bottle with the rum pouring from the barrel. Relief washed over me at the realization that I'd done it without getting caught by the two rum runners.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Musket! There's someone out here!
Or so I thought.
Hey, fella, what do you think you're doing snooping around here? This is our church, you know, and it's closed.
I'm with the Prohibition Bureau. We've got this place surrounded.
Officer Moe's 10 feet underwater wearing cement shoes. We made sure of it.
He's being a wise guy, Musket.
Time to fill him full of lead.
But boss, it's bad luck to bump someone off in a churchyard.
Now, where'd you hear a nonsensical thing like that?
I thought churches was hallowed ground. where sin and immorality would face supernatural punishment in this world or the next.
Where do you get this stuff from? I told you, I do the thinking in this partnership.
Okay, nice. Got the rum, let's go somewhere else. Go back to the manor.
It was a soda bottle that I'd filled up with rum. I poured the rum into the gree-gree.
And the bottle's empty again. Nice.
A dying tree stood next to the balcony, its branches devoid of leaves, its bark flaking.
Okay, we can cut
I
that
didn't
rope.
need to cut that.
Oh, come on. Yeah, okay, the door. Because we don't need to cut the,
The
door,
rope
we
was
need to
too
cut the rope.
thick for the scissors to get purchase. I would have been hacking away for hours like a nearsighted lumberjack.
Well, good thing I have a knife then.
The barrel had smashed on the ground, revealing its dark, syrupy sweet contents. Molasses. The molasses was far too thick and gooey to get into the bottle.
Okay, do I have somewhere where I need something like
That wasn't going to
sweet?
work. I needed to...
Okay, I'm guessing I have to do something with the molasses, but I have no idea what yet.
I reached up to the cow skull and dislocated its grisly jaw.
Hey, look, I have some bones.
I placed the jawbone into the gree-gree.
Can I open the garage door?
The doors were firmly locked from the inside.
Yeah, you can go inside. How about you unlock them? Like, you kidding me? How's foolishness treating me? I think pretty good. I have 4 out of 7 ingredients to summon some ghosts. I just need black feathers, chalk, and coffin nails. And then we're one step closer to getting being $13 million richer. How are you doing, Gelf? Yeah, let's see if we can do anything more in the house. Usual grocery trip.
I went to
just down
open the
my bus
door into
home.
Bellemore Manor, but the key was gone. I was sure I'd left it in the lock.
Oh no.
From the ground, I didn't have a clear view through the balcony doors, but that didn't stop me from knowing the dark magic that went on beyond that broken glass.
You realized between your uni and your stop are 5,000 steps. Doing important science. Important.
Nope. A large pond lay in front of the house.
Okay, so the question is, can I open the doors somehow, like in another way? Do I have to go back through the balcony? Or can I find the key somewhere?
The balcony was broken where I'd been thrown out of Abigail's bedroom.
Don't interrupt me when it's talking about large pants. Well, I've heard it before. What's squeaking here, by the way? That's new. That squeaking is new.
A table and chairs sat inside the gazebo, an echo of...
Okay, seriously, what's squeaking here? Hmm. Nice, that works. What's in there?
I cut into the sack with the knife, revealing it to be full of corn.
Yay!
I took the corn from the sack.
Stop is coming up. And you get off your bus, so you don't miss it. Corn! You know what that means? We go back to the mill and give some to the chickens.
I scattered the corn on the path. Mere seconds later, it attracted the attention of the curious chicken.
Okay, am I getting a white feather and I'm gonna dye it with grease or what?
Now that the chicken was enjoying the fresh air, there was nothing of interest in the chicken coop. It was a ramshackle chicken coop.
Are you sure? Not even a feather?
I was glad nobody had seen that. I may have known how to handle a chicken drumstick, but wrestling the living version was altogether different. Nope. The small chicken I'd lured out of the chicken coop pecked happily at the corn strewn across the trail. I couldn't do... I'd seen cowboys lassoing cattle at the summer rodeo before, but trying to do the same with parcel twine and a chicken would have been ridiculous.
Oh, come on. Be a little adventurous.
I may have needed feathers, but I didn't want to hurt the chicken to get them. That wasn't going to work. If the chicken didn't want me to touch it, perhaps a blast of air could do the trick.
Really? Oh, come on. Okay, so I guess I have feathers. And I guess let's
Grease-soaked
get them
feathers
black.
wouldn't have been of any use to me.
Oh, ink! The ink at the newspaper.
Anything to report?
I'm keeping my eyes open.
I'm not telling you shit, bitch.
Delicately, I dipped the feathers into the canister of ink. When they emerged, they were dyed jet black. I placed the feathers into the gree-gree.
Okay, nice. I haven't seen chalk anywhere. At least I don't remember seeing it anywhere.
With the high tide, the entirety of the causeway was now covered over by water. Only the guideposts peeking above the waves gave any hint of the road below that had brought me to the island.
Oh.
On the tallest tower of the fort was a wrought iron Victorian lighthouse, clearly out of step with the fort's stone architecture. It was like seeing a pair of spectacles on Michelangelo's David. The lighthouse light was off. The plaque read, Fort Bellemore, no public access. For further information, please contact the lighthouse keeper.
Okay. The question is, do we need more there right now?
A coat of arms was carved in stone above the staircase. A stone staircase ascended out of sight. I couldn't get to the staircase while the gate... The metal gate was far too strong to open with the poker. The gate was too well set into the thick stone walls to be dislodged with the screwjack.
We go back to the church. Okay, these guys are still here.
I didn't need to cut that.
Yeah, but maybe remove the nails that are in the coffin
The gentleman
already.
inside the coffin was long past needing air holes. I couldn't do that. I thought I'd leave Edgar alone for now. What do you think of this manuscript?
Don't be getting up to any sort of black magic in my cemetery. If any zombies rise up, I'll make sure you fill the holes back in.
Nice.
What do you think of this magazine?
Oh, haunted houses, is it? I heard about a family that couldn't afford to pay their exorcist.
What happened?
The house had to be repossessed.
I thought I'd keep that to myself. I didn't think he'd be interested in that. I thought I'd keep that to myself. I didn't need to show him that. I didn't think he'd be interested in that. I didn't need to show him that. I thought I'd keep that to myself. I didn't want the gravedigger to know I'd take... I thought I'd keep the gentleman inside the coffin. I didn't need to wear the brooch, and obviously its red stone wouldn't suit my jade complexion.
Okay.
I didn't need to... I didn't need to cut that.
Oh! Thread in the table?
I tied the twine to the uneven table and took up a hiding spot behind a nearby wall. It was time to wake the dead.
Oh no.
Hello? Hello? Why is it so dark in here?
Huh? Who's that?
I'm stuck. Help! Help!
Mallory, if that's you again.
Get me of this thing!
Oh no, not again. Mister, are you okay? I'm so sorry. I was told... Mister? Oh, God darn it! Next time I see that girl, I'm gonna have a peewee-sized coffin all ready for her. A few hours locked in one of those should adjust her sense of humor.
Ah, that discards the nails because they've been used once. Nice. Ooh, and I even get to keep the twine. I like that even more.
I picked up the handful of discarded coffin nails from the tin.
Nice. So all I need is some chalk.
I placed the coffin nails in the gree-gree. It was a crumbling piece of chalk. It was a
Okay, where can I find chalk?
The graveyard was dotted. I scanned the headstones for anything of note, but didn't know what I was searching for. The window looked into the church. I could see the shadows of the rum runners moving around inside the church, but I didn't want to get too close in case they saw me too. Wandering happily into the hideout of a pair of mobsters wasn't going to be a smart move.
Yeah, but smart is boring, darling. Okay, where could I find chalk?
Welcome back.
Do you have
I
chalk?
had nothing else to ask him. The cabinet was filled with precious jewels, geodes, and fossils next to a small sign that read, "Treasures of the Earth." What do you think of this manuscript?
That looks like exactly the sort of black magic that plagued Captain Crumb. Whew, sends a shudder right through me.
I couldn't do that.
I thought I could maybe sell the magnet for chalk.
The ladder was covered in rust from the salty sea air, barely hanging on to the crumbling masonry. What do you think of this manuscript? I think it's voodoo.
Is this what Moray's having you hunt down?
Does it have any meaning to you?
Well, I know some of those symbols, but the way they're put together, they don't make any sense to me. And I wager they don't make any sense to someone familiar with real voodoo either.
You're saying it's fake?
Why don't you find out when you put in the last ingredient? And if that's what you're doing on this island, maybe I shouldn't be so worried after all.
I decided to leave Ned to his fishing.
I was hoping I could ask him if he knew where I could find chalk.
Of all of the papers pinned to the board, one article stood out to me. It showed the beaming face of a rotund fisherman on the docks with a headline declaring he'd just broken the island's heaviest catch record.
Anything to report?
I'm keeping my eyes open. What do you think of this manuscript I have?
Looks fake to me.
What do you mean? This is a genuine voodoo manuscript, hundreds of years old.
I know my paper. From offsets to cover stock, pulp to parchment. If you can print on it, I know about it. The manuscript may be old, European I'd say, but the ink on it. Look at the splatters, the fade. That's within the last century at most. My guess is there used to be something underneath, and it's been covered over.
Is there any way to find out what used to be there?
I don't think so, McAllen. All we can say is that someone did a good job making sure that whatever it was isn't there anymore. Yes?
Hi. I've got a story for you. A big one. There are rum runners at the old church.
Keep your voice down, Motormouth. Do you want us to end up in the obituaries?
I thought you wanted a real scoop for the Gazette.
I do, just not one that gets me on the wrong side of the mob in the process. Pigeon elected mayor, cow does the high jump. Those are the types of stories that get eyes on the front pages.
But I thought journalists had a duty towards truth, justice, and society.
Where'd you get that poppycock idea? My duty is towards the circulation numbers. And while I'd love a shocker of a story, I'd rather not become the story if you catch my drift.
I think I better be going.
I've got my eye on you, McAllen.
Okay, let me go back to the boat and talk to the voodoo guy. And see if he can give me a hint on where to find chalk, because that's really something I have no idea on. Like, not even the slightest idea.
You've returned. Have you found all the ingredients and placed them in the green?
Not yet, but I'm working on it. I'm going to go and find the...
Rebecca.
Okay, no. I can't look around, I can't ask him for help.
The shack door was too sturdy for me to pry open with the poker, but that still left another way in. With a bit of elbow grease, I levered up the window frame.
Oh!
Pressed against the inside wall was a dusty desk covered in spiderwebs, and to top it, one thing lay undisturbed, a small folded document which I picked up, along with an inadvertent 8-legged companion. Ugh. Ghost stories and haunted treasures I could handle, but spiders gave me the creeps.
Ah, a captain's license. Okay, now I just need a picture. Department of Commerce and Labor, United States, Captain's License, the undersigned inspector for the state of Louisiana certifies that Cornelius Knott, having been by them this date duly examined, touching his qualification as captain of the steamboat, is a suitable and safe person to be entrusted with the power of duties of captaincy, and license him to act as such for 5 years from this date on. all navigable waterways of the state of Louisiana. As such, the above name does solemnly swear that he will faithfully and honestly, according to his best skill and judgment, without concealment or reservation, perform all the duties required of him as a captain. By the Act of Congress, approved June 9th, 1910. Given under my hand, this 3rd day of March, 1923, B. Butterworth. Signature of the captain, yeah, I think there, just need a new picture.
It was a riverboat captain's license belonging to a Captain Knott, but the space for a photograph was empty. It was a
Okay.
If I wanted to fill the bottle, it was best to do it with the tide, lest my fingers get nipped by some unseen lurking crab. It was a soda bottle I'd filled up with water.
Yeah, but with seawater, that's a difference.
That wasn't going to work. The fish's ability to swim away was crucially hampered by the fact that it was taxidermied. Nope.
Penny in the pool? Okay,
that
no.
didn't work.
Now make a wish with the penny? Oh, wait, wasn't there a well in the cemetery? No, right? That's not a well. Just crypts. Ah, sorry. Did I see a well somewhere? Like, what else am I going to do with the penny?
Anything to report?
I'm keeping my eyes open. Could you take my photograph for this captain's license?
What do you think this is, a boudoir studio? Would you like a feather boa and a pair of high heels for your session? Don't waste my time. I only take photographs of people who are newsworthy.
I didn't need to show her that.
How could I become newsworthy?
I thought I'd keep that to myself.
Yes?
Hi. Would you take my photograph?
Do you know how much the chemicals cost to develop those photographs? I'm on a limited budget here, McAllen. Unless you've done something notable, you're not getting into print.
I think I better be going.
I've got my eye on you, McAllen.
Okay, what could I do that's newsworthy? Oh! Catch the biggest fish!
I didn't need to...
Okay, what do I stuff the fish with to boost its
That
weight?
didn't work.
Or is the stuffed fish already, like, heavy enough?
I hung the fish on the scales.
You caught a pingoza. They're the most delicious fish around here, especially grilled. But you'll never beat Squib's record.
Squib?
Jebediah Squibb, the Cajun catcher he calls himself. Last week at the dead of the docks, Squibb caught the heaviest pincosa on record. Got his photograph on the front page of the newspaper and everything. Now how am I going to rest while he brags and boasts about it every single night?
With its innards made of cotton and material scraps, the fish's weight was distinctly unimpressive.
Okay, how do I stuff that fish?
Nope. I couldn't do that. I needed to think of something else. That didn't work. With the ripped seam as an opening, I placed the horseshoe inside the taxidermy fish. Now it was heavy.
Ha ha!
Mac, does that say what I think it does? You been holding back on me. That breaks Squibb's record.
McAllen! How does it feel to have decimated the town record in your first few hours on the island?
How did you hear about this so fast?
It's my job to know about things fast. Now, I'm asking the questions here. Where'd you get the fish, McAllen?
Well, it was a mighty battle on the southern coast. Its fins strong as a motor, its mouth as fierce as a tiger's. I paused dramatically to allow my fishing prowess to wash over them.
What rod did you use?
Wooden one?
I mean, what make?
You know, I didn't use a rod.
You caught the fish without a rod?
With my bare hands, like a man.
Mono, fisho?
You wrestled a fish?
And
Hell
I won.
yeah.
Well, as much as it pains me to say it, you're the cover story in the next edition of the Juniper Parish Gazette. And this is why I'm not getting a Pulitzer.
I've got to hand it to you, Mac. That fish is a whopper. I don't know how you got it, but as long as it keeps Squib quiet at the porch party tomorrow, I ain't complaining.
Murphy! Have you seen the cover of the evening edition? I think we caught your personality perfectly in that photograph. Naive, simple, unsophisticated. Makes it all the more
thank
surprising
you.
that you actually accomplished something.
I wonder if I should have it framed.
That'll cost you. Hey, those cost money, you know.
But it has my photograph on it.
The Do Not Serve board down at Spinelli's bar has my photograph on it. But that doesn't mean I can just pick it up and walk out with it, does it?
I'd like to buy a newspaper.
Finally, I get something out of you loitering in here. That'll be 1 cent, please.
That's what we do. Nice.
I picked up the newspaper. The fewer people that saw it, the better.
Island newcomer breaks fishing record.
The headline read, "Island newcomer breaks fishing record," with my photograph printed in black and white. The headline...
Okay, nice. Now, scissors.
Carefully,
Cut that
I
out.
cut my photograph out of the newspaper.
Hee hee.
It was the photograph of myself I'd cut out of the newspaper. I wish I'd posed better. I was going to need something adhesive.
Like molasses.
I touched the back of the photograph to the molasses. Thanks to the stickiness of the molasses, the photograph adhered nicely to the captain's license.
And that's how I became a captain.
My credentials.
You're telling me you are a captain?
I trust it's all in order.
I thought you said your name was Murphy McCallan.
That's right.
Then why does this say Captain Knott?
It's a pseudonym for marketing purposes. You've got to stand out nowadays. A cool name's a good way to do that. You didn't think Captain Hook was called Hook before the hand incident, did you? What would the odds of that have been?
Look, Sonny, the bylaws of this club only allow the club manager to verify a captain's license. And Mr. Perkins is enjoying his backgammon soiree with Mrs. Perkins and the ladies this evening, with strict instructions not to be disturbed. So I'll accept this for tonight, but try this again tomorrow night and it'll be another story. Now, with that said, a warm and hearty welcome to the Captain's Club. We sincerely hope you make use of and enjoy our facilities, and do please let me know if I can be of any assistance at all. We don't open for another hour, but if you'd like, you can head up now to acquaint yourself.
Yes, please. Yes, chalk!
I picked up the cube of billiard chalk from the edge of the table. I placed the chalk into the gree-gree. I'd done it. All 7 ingredients for the summoning spell. Now I needed to head back to the Spirit Queen.
Victory! Let's go there. Immediately. Don't even look around here. I want to summon ghosts so bad. Oh no! Not she again.
I thought I'd find you out here, McCallan.
Evelyn, lovely to see you out in the bayou again.
This will be the last time, McCallan, I'm not your secretary. I don't know what you're up to out here, but I'll figure it out soon enough. But for now, let's hurry it up. These shoes are alligator skin, and I don't want the local fauna recognizing an old friend. Another telegram came through for you, marked urgent. Kip said you might be out here.
My boss again?
Got it in one.
McCallan, report back immediately. Received word Grimes is deceased. Lack of resources has made this a waste of time. And I've cottoned onto your little stunt with the Friday signatures. When you get back here, sorting mail is gonna be the least of your worries. Sid Sinclair Auditing Company.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing. On a night when I'd just seen a ghost, this telegram was almost more unbelievable. There was more to the Bellemore story than I could have ever imagined. Now I was being pulled away to a job I didn't want to work, and a life I didn't want to live. Maybe it was time to do something a little foolish. Do I still have that prepaid reply?
Sure do. What do you want it to say?
Tell him I quit. I couldn't believe what I'd done. I'd quit my job and opened the first chapter in my own adventure. But without a job, I didn't have a salary. Without a salary, I wouldn't have a place to live. And it suddenly became more important than ever that I find that treasure. For me this time.
Nice.
Murphy, have you found all 7 ingredients?
I have.
Wonderful! Now it is time for the final step. Out of the darkness, the sadness, the fear, I command you, my servant, now to appear.
I have returned, Master. What is your desire?
The ingredients have been gathered. The final step of the spell is ready. The focus.
The focus of the spell is whatever you are casting it upon. Bellemore Manor is where the ghosts reside. An image of Bellemore Manor is what you must use to direct the spell.
Murphy, do you have an image of Bellemore Manor we can use?
Yeah, the magazine.
Yes, Murphy, that will work. Place it inside the gree-gree as the final ingredient.
Okay.
I folded the magazine cover and placed it inside the gree-gree.
The spell is ready. Finally, the ghosts will be free again. Open the gree-gree, Murphy, and that will cast the spell.
With some trepidation, I took the gree-gree from my pocket, and with a deep breath, opened it.
Nice.
At last, I am free.
Servant, what's happening?
I was never your servant.
I am your master. You shall do my bidding. I command you.
Foolish mortal. You have served your purpose. No longer do I need to manifest as an ephemeral specter. Now my true spirit form is freed.
Loa, do as I say.
You are of no more use to me.
Oh! I'm in danger.
I wasn't sure what I'd just seen, but the voodoo fire raging all around me was all too real. I needed to get out, and fast. In the center of the room was a huge stone pool filled with swirling green water. Gazing into the spirit pool, I thought I could see formless faces gazing back at me.
Well, thank God I filled the bottle with water. Otherwise I would be fucked. Hey, Abigail. Oh, not again. There's alligators out there. Oh! Okay. Part 2, the love antidote.
As I opened my eyes, I realized I had no idea where I was. Hello?
All right, all you Bellemore Manor ghosts and ghouls, let's take it to a place where voodoo rules. Foolish mortal, do you know what you've done? A house of spirits, but we know of one with evil intentions, and now no preventions to all their evil scheme. You're now implicated in this complicated supernatural dream. You cast the spell, now the deed is done. Evil's free, the plan has just begun. Without your detection, we'll have no protection from the Machiavellian game. You set them loose, so you have to deduce who is ill and who is to blame. And self-detested, we'll ask you questions 3. Draw on clues to solve the mystery. The lover, the poor, the devil of God. Questions surrounded in doubt. The officer, bride, the sailor, or guide, Murphy. Can you figure it out? Can you figure it out? The broken heart stolen by another. Tell us now who is the lover.
Oh, to the sailor.
I think the sailor was the lover.
Someone in love and their love is true. Is it return? What is there to do? They're caught in the middle of baffling riddles. Is love what can carry them through? A sunset life, no chance for dawn. Tell us now who is the one.
I think the bride was the pawn.
A bride in love, but in some evil curse, immersed in voodoo and things perverse. She cannot protest, and her mind's not possessed. Are things that will only get worse. Wicked spirits in evil revel. Tell us now who is the devil.
I think the officer was the devil.
A phantom figure who's now in control. Black magic powers got things he stole. But maybe it's set back, but he's gonna get back, and we'll worry that goes now. Let's go. Maybe you listened and now you've done it. You took a gamble and you have won it.
Ah, that was easy.
And I say let's farewell, and an officer pulling the strings. A hostage filled with voodoo, and yes we know like you do. To fix it, we'll take some strange things. To test it, we ask you questions 3. You draw clues and solve the mystery. The officer, bride, and the sailor all died. Questions surrounded in doubt. The lover, the pawn, the devil are gone. Murphy, you figured it out. And dance you must, the foolish boss. Blind treasures trapped in hidden vaults. You may think you are done, but it's all just begun. It's time for the ghostly debut. So say trick or treat, 'cause there's a goal to defeat. And Murphy, we hope that you do. Or guess what? You'll have to die have to die too.
Nice.
I was back in Bellemore Manor, and although it was better than being dead, I didn't know what was awaiting me.
What if the song would have changed if chosen different? I'm pretty sure, yeah. I mean, I guess it would have been a version that told you, yeah, you answered wrong. And then maybe give you a hint, like one answered wrong, or two, like, I mean, at least 2 would have to be wrong if you mix 2 up. But yeah, again, that wasn't super hard, at least not for me. Very straightforward. But hey, we got it. And we started part 2. And I think that's where I'm gonna end it today, if I can... Oh no.
Who wanders to this ghostly trick? The prey that prays it will be quick. Do not blame that final try, for once he's in, he's sure to die.
Another ghost? Oh, this can't be good.
Welcome back to Bellemore Manor, Mr. McCallan. My name is Cordelia Lockett. I do hope I haven't scared you.
To be honest, I've had my fill of ghosts for today. Perhaps I should be running along.
I'm afraid you'll need to come with me. There is someone you need to meet.
Who?
Miss Bellemore.
You know, I don't think that would be such a great idea. We met twice already this evening, and I don't think she's taken much of a liking to me. What with throwing me off a balcony and pulling me into a spirit pool. Attempt to kill me once? Shame on you. Attempt to kill me twice? Shame on me, you know? I'll just go. It'll be like I was never here.
It's too late for that, Mr. McCallan. I really must insist.
What have I gotten myself into?
Miss Bellemore, Mr. McCallan is here to see you.
I don't see anyone.
And I wanted to stop for today. Damn it.
I'm terribly sorry, Miss Bellemore. I wasn't trying to steal from you. I didn't know anybody was still here. And then I've gotten deeper into things than I expected, and... Miss Bellemore? Why isn't she saying anything? Why is she crying?
This is all terribly exciting, isn't it? I'm afraid there's much more to this than you realise, Mr. McAllen.
Can she even hear me?
I don't think so, but keep trying to talk to her anyway.
What happened to her?
I can tell you all that I know, if you're brave enough to hear it.
I hope I am.
I was there on that night, all those years ago. And it wasn't Miss Bellemore who was to blame. The morning of the wedding, Mr. Rackham left a gift on Miss Bellemore's dresser. A small leather pouch with strange beads and strange markings. I shouldn't have been looking, but I saw her open it. It was black magic. Everyone had heard the rumours about Mr. Rackham, but I saw it with my own eyes. Miss Bellemore panicked. She threw the pouch into her music box, slammed down the lid to lock it, and threw the brooch into the fireplace. But it was too late. She was losing herself. I could see it in her eyes. Minutes later, she asked me to bring her fiancé to her room. It's bad luck to see the groom before the ceremony. She told him she didn't love him, but I don't think it was her speaking. He begged, he pleaded, his heart broke in two. He was devastated. I saw him head up the staircase to the balcony overlooking the garden. But oh dear, I didn't know what he was going to do.
He hung himself.
That evening, her wedding to that evil Mr. Rackham began, but it didn't go the way he had planned. Just before Miss Bellemore's lips formed the words, "I do," I could see the forces battling inside her. The real love within her resisting the forged compulsion of Mr. Rackham's curse, staring into eyes that were not those of her true love. And that battle of good and evil exploded. Just like that, everyone in the house was gone, trapping us as ghosts to remain here forever. For more than 30 years she's been like this, her mind trapped in an eternal battle between the true love in her heart and the evil magic trying to control her. More than 30 years of never-ending heartbreak. And while Miss Bellemore is trapped in torment, do you realise what you've done? You've summoned all the ghosts in the house, including Mr. Rackham, that manipulator, that occultist, that devil, the cause of Miss Bellemore's suffering. He's once again free to pursue his evil deeds because you released him.
Whoopsie daisy. Okay, I guess I have to go through that dialogue and only then I can stop the game.
If Abigail is under a spell, how is she able to attempt to kill me twice?
Well, it's never happened before. Maybe she's losing the fight against Mr. Rackham's curse, and the evil inside her is growing more powerful. Oh dear, it's almost too terrible to think about, isn't it?
Why is Rackham doing all this? What does he want?
He's after the same thing you are, the Bellemore treasure. But he's willing to do a lot more to get it, and he doesn't care who gets hurt in the process. I'd say he's a lot more committed than you are.
He's also dead. What does he want to do with a treasure?
I have to do something. How can we stop him?
I'm afraid I don't rightly know, but Miss Bellemore might. She managed to break out of the spell once, just at the moment of the explosion when Mr. Rackham tried to carry out the wedding.
Perhaps if you take her back to that moment, she might be able to break out of it again. To do that, you'll need to create a love antidote to Mr. Rackham's curse.
How can I create a love antidote?
Look in the mirror. In this reflection, she's as happy as she was on the morning of her wedding. And look, there in front of her, 4 wedding mementos and the echoed music of the wedding march, each one a touchstone of that final happy time. If you could gather those 5 things, perhaps we might bring her back to the moment she escaped the spell, even if just for a moment. There's something else you should know. Mrs. Craddock, the housekeeper, has announced that all wedding preparations are to resume upon the orders of Mr. Rackham. He plans to repeat the wedding tonight. You don't have long.
But what if I break her out of the spell and she is evil now?
I think you'll just have to take that risk.
Maybe I should go. Try to find someone who knows more about this.
Oh, don't you know? You're just as trapped within this house as any of us ghosts. Try the windows, try the doors. We all have 1,000 times. But it's no use. If you want to escape, she's your only hope.
That can't be true. I haven't died. I can't be trapped here forever like you.
In moonlight's glow, a spectral cell, and whispers of an eerie spell. No one hears his silent shout, for once he's in, he can't get out.
No amount of force or technique or desperate longing would open the door. Cordelia was right. I was trapped. And as I looked around at the house that held me, I felt both dead and alive at the same time. Both awake and in a dream, or a nightmare. The only way I could possibly free myself was to gather the 5 items to awaken the Ghost Bride, perhaps giving her a third and final opportunity to kill me.
Well, all good things come in threes. But yeah, I'm afraid we'll have to end it here and continue next time, whenever that will be. I hope you enjoyed this game. I definitely did. And yeah, we'll see if the foolish mortal will become a rich mortal. But yeah, I wish you all a wonderful rest of your day, night, evening, morning, afternoon, whatever it may be for you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye, guys. Sorry, I'm just looking for a good song. Christmas was too early and the chicken song sucks. Bye, guys.